And we are back for another season of the FilterTime eSpark series. Thank you once again for allowing us to come into your home. I am Zane, the Bearded One, joined by my man, the myth, the legend, Mr. HD Motorsports in the broadcast booth here at virtual World Wide Technology Raceway for round one of season 2 of the eSpark series. HD, how you feeling tonight?
Man, I'm feeling excited, Zane. We're back to the eSpark series brought to you by FilterTime. You know, last year I had a great time calling this series with you, and I'm going to have an excellent time tonight as well.
And here we are back again. Season 2. Season 1 ended on a whirlwind of a finish. Lucky Dog, the Bolt, Mr. Danny Botafuco, whatever you want to call him, came out as a season champion. He beat Track Bar, who was a no-show, but now we're here. The tables have been reset. The chips have been put back in their place. If we're playing chess, all the pieces have been lined up, and now it's a new game, a new season. So what happened last season really doesn't matter because we're starting over with 16 races.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like you said, Track Bar was a no-show. That would have been a heck of a battle between those two at Martinsville, if I'm not mistaken. Lucky Dog, the man was able to get it done. Can he go back-to-back is the real question coming to the season 2.
Well, he showed last season that he came on really strong at the end of the season. You say it, a focus bolt is a deadly bolt, and here he is again, getting back into the seat, getting ready to go back in to defend that championship against the likes of Dohar, Big John, Badeshi, Track Bar, some of these really good drivers, just to name a few. Don't want to give anyone, a little bit of shade there, but they're not. It's just so many names to go through. But he's going to have to defend that championship here tonight at, in a sense, a short track. It's Gateway. It's World Wide Technology Raceway, a.k.a. Gateway if you're an old racing fan. And now it's all different for him. He can't rest on his laurels.
Yeah, without a doubt, Zane. And I think we should maybe do a little bit preseason pick'em. Who is your favorite to be the champion in season 2? Who is your preseason favorite?
Oh my God, I didn't even plan for that one. Oh God, Sandy, pulling my John Travolta here. I think I'm gonna have to go with, I'm gonna go with, okay, you know what? I'll say this, and I'm probably gonna get booed by the crowd, but. God, you go first. How about that? That's why I'm going to get booed.
I'll go first, man. I'm going to go with a guy who's new to the league here in eSpark, but not new to racing at all in the online community, in the Heat community. I'm going to go with CGMX Rose. The kid is extremely fast. I'd say without a doubt, top 3 fastest in the league coming into this. The only question I have with him is the same question I had with the Bolt last season. He's a younger guy. He can kind of get a little ahead of himself at times. I think if he's able to maintain that just a bit, maintain his composure, I think he will be the champion this season in eSpark.
Well, that's a great pick with CM Rose, all right? You know him. You're a diehard Rose fan. I see you wearing a Rose shirt right now. You look like Tuxedo Mask a little bit. But, it would be off-putting if I said Track Bar, because Track Bar is fast. He's dominant. He's strong. But I'm going to go with a dark horse pick on this one. And I know he's not racing tonight, but I don't want to say that's going to dash his playoff hopes because it's 16 weeks, anything can happen. But I'm going to go with Kerr, Rangers. Jacob Kerr in that 8 machine. I think he is strong enough to put that car up front week in, week out, to win some races, to go for a championship. I could be dead wrong, but you know what? I'm a ride-or-die Kerr fan, so I'm going to say Jacob Kerr for my championship dark horse.
And you can't go wrong with that pick as well, especially with the team he's looking on. He's on Badeshi's team, but also on Badeshi's team, you got J-Mac, you got Leafs Justin. These are all guys who are able to put their minds together, get the right setup to the track, and they all can compete for wins. So he's on a great team as well, and I like that pick.
And right now, while we've been talking about picks, the drivers are now getting on the track, as you're seeing behind us here, running some qualify laps, 4 laps to qualify. While they run through the qualify time, let's do a little bit of the FilterTime track facts here for tonight. In HD, the track facts here for FilterTime, great sponsor for this event, but let's talk about it. It's race number 1 here at World Wide Technology Center, aka or Gateway, right? 200 laps. That's 250 miles these guys are going to have to race here tonight. We're talking about a 1.25 mile track out there in Madison, Illinois, outside of, I think it's like St. Louis, if I'm not mistaken. And then look at the banking of the banking in the corners here. Turn 1 and 3, 11, or turn 1 and 2, sorry, 11 degrees. 3 and 4, 9 degrees. So you have this differential in each one of the corners that's going to make it a little bit more challenging as these drivers go on throughout the race and those tires start to drop off. You have an 11 degree and a 9 degree banking. It's almost a little bit flatter and smoother, or should I say smaller degree bankings than you'd see at a natural mile and a half, right? But a little bit more of a steep banking than you would see somewhere at like Martinsville.
Yeah, it's almost like two completely different tracks merged together. Turns 1 and 2, you got the bank, and that's going to help you to maintain your speed all the way through the corner. Now, turns 3 and 4, like you just mentioned, it's a little flatter, but it's a big sweeping turn. The drivers getting their angle right, be able to hit the apex in the middle of it, and ride off the carried momentum is going to be huge in turns 3 and 4.
And that's probably going to be a lot of the areas that we're going to keep an eye on is 3 and 4 when those guys come off that corner and mat it. Who's going to use that momentum to get up and around guys? And we talk about it, earlier in the broadcast. Who's going to be that real dominant car? And I think in the Bolt, right? Let's lead into what we like to talk about here is our Vegas man's Nicky Jobs down out in Vegas. Talks about the over-under on cautions. He still won't talk to me since I lost him a lot of money that 1 week. But let's talk about it. Season 2, race 1. What's your over-under on cautions?
I think it being race 1, we got some new faces in the league, a lot of nerves going into the race. Everybody wants to do well. Everybody wants to get that win. So my over-under for the caution count is going to be 6. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit the 7 or 8, but I definitely think they're capable of going under 6 cautions.
Ooh, 6. So are you going the over or under on 6?
I'm going to go under 6. I'm going to go under with the 6.
Okay, under on the 6. I'm going to go with a nice even 8. I'm going to say I'm going to go under, though, on 8. But with the new faces, new teams, it's Gateway. It's the first time these Cup Series drivers have gone to Gateway. I think we might see a little bit more cautions. And historically, in eSpark's history, the latter half of that race, within the last 15, 20 laps, everyone thinks they have a chance to win, and that's when calamity starts to take over. And that's where I think we'll probably see a lot more of those cautions appear. But I'm going to go with 8 under for tonight.
And I like that right there. Like I said, I could see it hitting 7 or 8, but we got the best guys on the track. This is definitely the best custom setup league in NASCAR Heat 4, in my opinion only. I think these guys can get it done.
Well, let's put your money where your mouth is, HD. Who's your winner and who's your dark horse?
My winner tonight is going to be a guy that we know last year. He was one of the top 2 guys in the league. I'm going to go with Mr. Trackbar winning it tonight. I know he's a guy who's been tweaking for this race all week long. He wants to win. He does not take second for granted. He's basically the Kyle Busch of the eSpark series, right? He wants to win. If he's not winning, he's not happy. So I'm going to pick Trackbar tonight. And my dark horse is actually going to be Stout Whiskey. The guy has been lighting the world on fire lately in NNR and in the Richmond Esports series that they host here on the Xbox side of things. I think Stout Whiskey can get it done. He's well knowledgeable of NASCAR Heat 4 and what this track brings.
I like those picks. I will say those are some really strong picks. And I'm looking through the drivers list, right? So we know that Cosmic will be replacing Kerr tonight. And I think there was one more of JPA will be subbing for more smoke. So they're off the board, right? I would say Cosmic, but I don't want to, he's only going to be here 1 week. He's only subbing. So I'm going to have to go with my winner for tonight. Let's go. You know what? I'm going to throw the dart at the board. I'm going to say J-Mac Attack. J-Mac Attack showed lots of moments at the end of last season of being strong, of being dominant when he pushed that car and got up front and stayed up front. If he can do it here tonight at the start of the season, he's going to be great. Qualifying has just wrapped up from what I'm hearing from race control, so we're going to try to see if we can't get Dohar here in the booth quite in a few moments. But I think my dark horse for tonight, you know what? I'm probably going to go with Dohar. The man knows strategy. He knows tactics. Him and his crew have been working on setups, trying to tweak things to find a better long-run car with a little bit more speed in it, where they can hang with the guys like Track Bar and the Bolt who are up front predominantly through these races. So I'm going to go with J-Mac as my winner and Dohar as my dark horse. And then speaking of him, with a smooth segue like butter, we got Mr. Dohar himself, the junior motorsports driver for the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, joining us in the booth, the owner, administrator, and the guy who helps bring all this together every week. Dohar, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, Zane. Not so good about that qualifying run, but we're here, and we're just here to enjoy the spectacle that's going to happen.
Well, it's season 2. You got through a great season 1. You even had an Extra Life charity event with you and 5 other leagues racing it out for charity for Extra Life. But now you put all the fun aside. You're putting back on the fire suit. You're getting in the serious mode. I can hear it in your voice. What are you expecting out of season 2 for the eSpark series?
I'm expecting even more action, especially up at the front of the pack. We added a lot of strong talent to this field to fill it up. We've got guys like Little Snack, guys like Roser out here, guys like the Aviator coming over, some of the young guns, and then we also have guy named Element Zero coming over, the AKA champion reigning. He's making his return over here. Of course, we've got Lucky Dog, Track Bar coming back, Big John, More Dog, Tedeschi, all those guys. This field is pretty incredible. I really think, honestly, any one of these 35 drivers can win week in and week out.
And that's something interesting is you brought in some new teams, new drivers. Your teams have been shook up a little bit, and you guys actually did a very interesting thing. You did almost like a draft this season for your drivers. Can you give us a little bit of context and some insight of why that came up and how it went?
Well, it was something we definitely wanted to do when you look at the Pro League and how that's set up. We really wanted to kind of mimic something like that where we can do it on a little bit of a broader scale because we have the opportunity that we feel comfortable putting up to 35, 36 race cars on this racetrack at one time. So it was something that we all kind of piloted together and did. The administrative team, we came up with team owners, guys that could be reliable and good contact points. For these drivers, we drafted from our Xfinity and Truck League as well as outside the league, anybody that we felt was worthwhile to be put with the best of the best and put them out here on the racetrack and not just have them be fast, but have them be good and have a lot of racing etiquette. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. It's going to be something wild because Mr. Track Bar starting in the rear, he had too many Bush's baked beans there before qualifying, and he had to skip out for a little bit. So he'll be starting in the back with me, and we'll have some good heavy hitters starting in the back. So it should be a lot of comers and goers. But CGMX Rose, the young gun, he's on the pole there for you.
Oh, HD, your pick on the poll. Thank you so much, Dohar. Let us know when those invites are going out in the chat there. We'll go ahead and jump in. Me and HD will wrap up this pre-race show here very shortly. But we want to thank everyone here who's hanging out, watching the race in chat. I see you. HD sees you. We got NASCAR 2017 Harvick fan. We got Mr. Streamlab saying that people are hosting it. So thank you, Mr. Streamjar. We got Rock NASCAR saying hello to everyone in the booth. And best of luck to all the drivers on the start of your season. And then we have Domain saying, Happy Easter. Good luck to the broadcast tonight. So a lot of people hanging out. We do have chat up. Let us know who you guys think who will win the race tonight. Who's your pick or your dark horse for this evening? We know who HD's got. He's got the man who's sitting on pole. I don't know where my picks are, but you know what? I'm hoping they drive through the field. And I see that invite there, Dohar. I'm accepting it. Give me a few moments to jump in here as we do a little la-di-da-di, we like to party, talking about the broadcast. But HD, 200 laps. Gateway. World Wide Technology Raceway. It's something these guys haven't raced before. Some would call it another type of Dover, but like, what's going through your mind if you're a driver right now, getting ready to strap yourself in?
You know, I think you just got to be calming your nerves. That's the first thing. You know, it's the first race of the season. You know, you really don't want to make any enemies this early. Yeah, you want a good run, but you don't want to go out there and knock a Mr. Track Bar around or knock a Mr. CGMX Rose or Lucky Dog. You don't want to knock these guys around because they are fast, and I guarantee you they can get back to you and get you one better. So I think everybody's calming their nerves. You know, get your car together. I think the first 10 laps are going to be pretty tame, Zane. And after that, who knows what's going to happen.
Man, that's you brought up, and you called it out. Track Bar, like the Kyle Busch of this league, doesn't like to lose, wants to be up front. He's got a lot of traffic as he's starting on the rear of the field tonight to drive through. He may make a few enemies, he might make a few friends. We'll have to wait to see as this race goes on, but we're getting ready to load in here. We see right now we're at the loading screen for the game. The drivers are pumped. We're pumped. We're about to go racing here for Season 2, starting off at World Wide Technology Raceway, a.k.a. Gateway, if you're an old fart like me. I'm not really old. I'm in my 30s. I'm almost 35. You know, they say when you're 35, you're in your prime. The prime of your life. So we'll have
prime going downhill. But
no,
you're not there yet. You're not there yet, man. You're at like the peak, and the peak is starting to curve just a bit before that ball starts going really fast down the hill. As we're loading in here, Zane, man, I'm getting excited. My blood is boiling. I'm getting pumped to call this action here tonight. I have a car yet in real life, so I'm going to give him that missed shift just one time. If I see it again, man, I'm going to have to add him on Twitter and be like, bro, what are you doing?
We're green flag racing, HD. It's all over, said and done. We're back in. The green flag is in the air. And Dohar is now leading this race. And he's probably going to send me a Christmas card because now he's battling the Bolt or Lucky Dog, Dan Botafuco, in that 13 Geico machine. New number, new season for our eSpark champion.
Yeah, and right behind these two right here, we got the 38 of Element. So he's kind of still where he was running before we had the re-rack, everybody. New face, though, up towards the front. It's going to be the 9 of Moordog, working his way in a top 5, actually trying to battle it out side by side with Mr. Track Bar, looks like, for P4.
You know, I talked to not Track Bar, but I talked to Moordog last night before this race a little bit. Everyone was hanging out, they're having a good time, joshing and joking. But Moordog was talking about how dedicated he is to this season of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League and eSpark. He feels like he's put a lot of time in behind the wheel now. He's comfortable, he's ready to go racing, and we're seeing it right now as he's running up front with these guys.
Well, we kind of see in this paint scheme. You know, Zane last year, he was always in a different paint scheme. You said, man, this guy makes paint schemes more than he does setups. Well, here he is running a generic number 9 Chase Elliott paint scheme as they come out of turn 2 down the backstretch.
And we're on board with Moordog right now, looking off the front end at the bumper of Dohar and that 88 in front of him. And look at Moordog just roll through the corners, sneaking up to that bumper of the 88 as they come off of 4 down the front stretch. In HD, you talked about it before the race. That momentum of using that little bit of 9-degree banking in that corner as they dive into 1.
Yeah, you kind of have to back up turn 3 just a bit so you can get him up off the corner, down the front stretch. I think that's where you're going to see a lot of your passes tonight, Zane, is diving low on people. You got to get that good run off the corner so you can get up under them in the next. As we see Mr. Track Bar in the 37, he did exactly that. He got up underneath that 38 of Element Zero, moved Track Bar up to P2. He's hunting down Lucky Dog.
And now we're watching Track Bar, and it's like season 1 never ended because you got Lucky Dog up front, Track Bar in second, the 2 top drivers of the FilterTime eSpark series getting ready to do battle, but Track Bar's got a lot of real estate to make up. He's got about 8 to 10 car lengths between him and that 13.
Yeah, he's got to make us some time, but I think he's going to get there. I think this is a battle of saving tires. Again, if I'm not mistaken, these guys are running ×3, ×4 wear. So he's got to not necessarily focus on the Bolt so much, but run his race. Bring the Bolt, let the Bolt come to you. And I think that's what he's going to do as he messes up turn 1 and 2. That's going to allow the 38 of Element Zero to get a decent run on him off the 2.
That really kind of shook Track Bar up a little bit as we look off the rear deck lid of the 37 of Mr. Track Bar, looking at that 38 Ford Mustang of Element Zero, working on him about a car length and a half back now. Track Bar trying to recover from that mis-entry into 1 as they come down the front stretch. It's really the Track Bar and Element. This is probably one of the best races on the track for second at this moment.
Yeah, but look behind these guys, because here comes that one car, a CGM X Rose. He worked his way in the top 5. He's slowly reeling these 2 in. I think as he comes down the backstretch, it's only about a 4 car length difference between Rose and that 38 of Element.
Yeah, and Rose, that's your pick to win. He was the pole sitter. We saw an issue happen for him at the start of the race, but now here he is running in the top 5, right on the bumper of the 38 and the 37, starting to reel him in like an angler. That's a fisherman for someone who doesn't know the big word. But here's this great battle, and now Rose starting to close in that gap even more as we're watching the battle between the 38 and the 37.
You know, something interesting I learned here on NASCAR Heat 4 at World Wide Technology, or AKA Gateway, we like to call it, is the draft here is insane, is what from I hear from the drivers. I mean, you can be about 5/10 back and pull an enormous draft on a guy in front of you. That's why I also think we're going to see a lot of dive bomb action, and I think that's why CGMX Rose was reeling in the 38 of Element before he had a little hiccup coming down into turn 3.
Yeah, but now we're looking at the front end HD of CMG Rose, or CMGX Rose, in that 1 machine. trying to run down the 38, and we're seeing the 38 get smaller and smaller in that windshield as him and Track Bar using that draft to their advantage to slowly pull away. But as we dive into the corner of 3 here, we see Rose start to close up that gap a little bit. He might have a little bit better handling cars in the corners, but that straight line speed and that draft is starting to defeat him.
Yeah, I think that she hit the wall or something coming on a backstretch. It really killed his momentum up through turns 3 and 4. He's slowly starting to reel that 30 of Element back in, but getting up to that 37 of Mr. Track Bar, though, he's extended his lead on the 38. He's got about a car length lead coming down the backstretch into turn 3. Still about the same distance between him and Lucky Dog. That's going to remain about 8 car lengths.
And now I'm watching this battle back here, HD, jump to the 88 of Dohar, who's sitting in about 6th place, and he's got the 32 of Little Snack. Now looking to the inside, we got a 4-way battle for 6th between the 88, the 32, the 42, and I think that's going to be the 17 of Big John Stud, my middle name Mud.
Yeah, really, and the 43 of Tom Tom really drove that thing in there as Dohar is bumping doors down the backstretch with that 17 of Big John. He is not happy. He lost 3 spots in the matter of half a track, and he's losing and counting because he's stuck up on the outside.
Yep, and Dohar trying to fight now. He's falling back quick. He's trying to get that momentum, get back into his rhythm as he's fallen all the way back to the front bumper of the 48. Now trying to reel him in side by side with the 48, and I can't make the number on that car next to him, but it looks like another Ford Mustang.
Yeah, that's definitely the 48 of the Aviator right there behind these guys. I think that's the 71 possibly of Rocky Top, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to extend the lead on the Aviator about 3 to 4 car lengths up off of turn 4. Rocky Top looking to pull the draft off the 88 of DRM Dohar down into turn 1.
Let's see if we can't go back here. I'm on Rose right now, and Rose has reeled in the 38 of Element Zero. A 2-car battle for 3rd place. Track Bar has stretched his legs. He's trying to run down the Bolt, a.k.a. Lucky Dog, a.k.a. Mr. Badafuco. But right now, the one machine, our pole sitter, making his way back up through traffic, now has his sights set on the 38 of Element Zero.
Yeah, he's about a car length up off him as he comes down the front stretch. He's really going to dive that thing down in turn 1, side by side, coming up off of turn 2, and the one to see
slide job
with the slider up off the backstretch.
Slide job, a little bit of paint scrape off the outside wall, but give that spot to Rose, move Element to 4th. Now that one Chevrolet Camaro has got his eyes set on the 37 of Track Bar, with the 38 of Element beating and banging, now trying to keep up with that one machine.
Yeah, Rose has got his eyes set up on a 37, but really the 37's got his eyes on a 13. I said earlier, man, he's got to let the 13 of Lucky Dog come to him. I think Mr. Track Bar definitely did that. It's about a 4-car length difference now between 1st and 2nd place.
We're trying to get our camera on the 37 of Track Bars. We got a car stuck on the inside. That looks like the 66 machine. Let's see if we can't get an update on what happened to him as we look for Mr. Track Bar here.
Yeah, moving up to Mr. Track Bar. I'm trying to cycle through. Just
there
like you, man. It's kind of, I'm on him right now. Yeah, he's about 3 car lengths now. Up off the 13 of Lucky Dog. Track Bar, though, washing up out of turn 2. Almost slapped the wall. That's going to kill his momentum down the backstretch into turn 3.
Man, Track Bar had his hands full right there. Left, right. Brake, heel, toe, brake. Trying to keep that car from spinning out as he almost smacked and killed himself on the outside wall virtually. Now he's still trying to run down the 13 of Lucky Dog, but staying with him. He didn't lose that much of a gap between him and the 13. Look at it, still about 3-4 car lengths, but that's going to let Rose in the 1 start to sneak up, creep into the shadows of that 37 machine.
Yeah, the Rose is actually about 5 car lengths now behind this 37 of Mr. Track Bar as they come down a backstretch into turn 3. So Rose is really turning it on here late in the run. I think this one car's got a really good long run car. We're seeing him work here. He got up by that 38 Element Zero, kind of drove by him, Element Zero, into the wall though at a turn 4.
And HD, this is now where we're going to start talking about pit strategy, right? These drivers have been racing here for a little bit. We know it's about a 3 to 4 times wear. Tires and fuel are going to come into play. When do you bring that machine down? In the next 5 laps, do you run it till it's dry? Do you try to stretch it a little bit more than the other guys, as we watch Track Bar now sneak to the bumper, the 13 of Lucky Dog?
Since we're in the early going race, I'm the guy who's going to stretch it as far as I can on the very first pit stop, because we don't know fuel strategy. You might be able to cut a pit stop out later in this race. So I'm stretching into this baby says E, and I need to push it down pit road. But yeah, just like you said, the 37 of Track Bar is all over the bumper of the 13 of Lucky Dog as they come down the backstretch.
Talk about pushing. The 37, he's pushing. He wants to get that lead. He dive bombs it down into the corner. Can he get it to stick as it's him on the inside? Lucky on the outside. Track Bar's got the momentum, and he's going to pull a slide job off the corner and give the first spot to Track Bar. Move Lucky to second. Now we got a new race leader of the 37 as they go into 1.
Yeah, he dove that bad boy down into turn 3 and put a power move on the 13 of Lucky Dog as someone's up into the wall at a turn 2. Great piece of driving from the 2 leaders. Not able to get into them. Good work by them.
That's going to be the 00, trying to get a name on that driver here if we can. My list is really small, so I'm trying to open it up real quick so we can get that driver name. But man, what a great save by him. But now he's got to get out of the way of Rose in that 1 car. He's just got to let the leaders race. I know you want to hold off that spot. And that's going to be all Freddie in that 00 machine.
Yeah, he's got heavy damage on his right front. He just slapped the wall up at a turn 2. Actually, CJ McRose right behind him touched the wall just a bit. That's going to kill his aero. Might drop it down to 99, and a little bit of aero. Zane is a big difference between speed and winning this race, basically. So he's probably going to come down pit road and possibly fix that. Rose has got well over a 10 car length distance between him and second place.
Yep, and that's the thing that we're going to have to keep an eye on is that damage. Now they're going to have to start dodging lap traffic. Cars going a lap down. Cars having issues with the handling of their setups. We're looking right now off the rear deck lid of the 37 of Track Bar with the hungry eyes of the Lucky Dog. Mr. Bolt, last season's champion, picking up where they left off. The Bolt in tow behind Track Bar. Track Bar leading the 13 now instead of the 18. But it's almost like a repeat, like we're deja vu if we were in the Matrix of what we saw last season with these 2 drivers.
Yeah, they're definitely the 2 top drivers in the FilterTime eSpark series last year, the first season, the inaugural season here by eSpark. And they, without a doubt, if Track Bar wasn't winning it, the Bolt was winning it. And here they are showing it yet again, the first race of season 2, while they are 2 of the best here that eSpark has to offer. You know, Track Bar got by the 13 of Lucky Dog, but Lucky Dog is really hanging in there, only about a car length back from Track Bar.
Only about a car length back, but green flag pit stops have started for the rest of the field as Lucky looks to the outside, can't quite get the momentum to stick the car there. He's going to fall back about 2 car lengths as they come down the backstretch here. He's going to give the international sign, it looks like, of, hey, I'm going to pit this time by, letting the guys behind him know. Oh, as Lucky cuts somebody off, almost hitting the inside pit road lane, as Track Bar is going to stretch it 1 more lap maybe.
Yeah, that made my heart drop right there with the 13 of Lucky Dog. I saw that was actually the 20 of Mike D. B34 coming down for his green flag pit stop. The 13 of Lucky Dog drove that thing in there until we saw Jesus up around that 20 car entering the pit road. And if I remember correctly, Zane, this pit road is very, very slick. I think a lot of time can be made up or lost here tonight at World Wide Technologies. We see Track Bar coming down 1 lap later.
Rose coming with them. So Track Bar and Rose coming down this time by right now.
Track Bar hard into the safer barrier.
Oh no, I don't have Track Bar on my camera trying to get Track Bar.
He just lagged. I don't know what happened, but he went head on into the safer barrier. Heavy damage for that 37. It might be a virtual blown engine. I'm not entirely sure.
Looking for him still. As we see Lucky coming off of pit road right now. Lucky Dog off pit road. He's clear. And it looks like, let's try to see if we can't find Track Bar. I'm still looking for him here. Gonna go on board, see if we can't find that 37 machine. Lots of front end damage. Looking at it right now on the onboard. Looking up the front end. That entire front end is just crumpled up almost 2 feet back into the engine block. The question becomes, does Track Bar continue, or is he going to call that his race?
I think his engine is gone. CGMX Rose is already up off of pit road. He's been gone. I think the 37, Mr. Track Bar, who was your race leader, is done for the night. Heavy front end damage on his car.
Well, here's something interesting as well right now. As Track Bar hits that inside retaining wall, pit road is now going to be open for our leader, the 88 of Dohar. Let's watch him as he makes that drive down pit road. Camera doesn't like it in NASCAR Heat 4. It's quite all right. Sorry about that, folks. It just wants to cut off that angle. But here he comes down pit road, that slow crawl of Dohar on that 88 machine. While he's making this pit stop, let's see if we can't get him on the radio. Dohar, how's the car feeling? This is Zane up in the booth.
Hey, car's absolute junk, but what do you know? By the way, the 37 must have still had too many Bush's baked beans. He wrecked getting on a pit road. He has decided to retire from the evening.
Oh no, there we go. Our in-race reporter, Mr. Dohar in the 88. He's going to give us the insights. Just told us that the 37 is out for the rest of the race. And HD, you're right, virtual blown motor. You hate to see it, but you know who does love to see that? That 13, our new race leader of the Bolt, leading this race, and now he doesn't have to worry about Track Bar running him down again.
Yeah, I think the Bolt's now only, well, I don't want to say only competition because barring any cautions, you know, we might see someone that we haven't looked at here tonight. But I think it's going to be the one of CGMX Rose, who's well about over still 10 car lengths away. I think he's definitely going to need a caution to be able to bring that 13 back to him. If this thing goes green all the way to the end, Zane, the 13 doesn't make mistakes. It's his race to lose.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is we talked about it last season. A Focus Bolt, now he's changed his name like Prince to back to Lucky Dog. So a Focus Lucky Dog is a deadly Lucky Dog. Just doesn't roll up the tongue as well as the Bolt did. We'll have to work on that this season. But here he is running down some lap traffic. He's putting lap 29 in the book, starting lap 30 right now. So this is really where he's starting to come into his own, his groove. He's got nothing to worry about. He doesn't have the pressure from Rose behind him. Doesn't have the pressure from Dohar. All he's got to do is manage the traffic in front of him, and just got to hope and pray that the guys in front of him give him the room, as it looks like he's living in a topsy-turvy mirror world, as his old number, the 18, is in front of him. He looks to the inside. He's going to try to put the 18 a lap down, but can't quite get the run up the corner.
Yeah, he just got the 95 of Jose 720. He was coming back down the front stretch. He thought better of it, diving it down in there on the race leader. But yeah, that's the 18 of Leaves Justin kind of fighting him off. They're going to go side by side now down the backstretch. Lucky Dog trying to pull some side draft here to pick up and put him a lap down.
And Lucky now dives it to the bottom, sticks it right on that apron or that rumble strips, whatever you want, the curbing here at World Wide Technology Raceway. He slide jobs it in front of Leaves Justin. Move Leaves Justin a lap down. Now Lucky's trying to power away from him.
Yeah, Lucky's got about a car length distance. I think that battle is well and over with. Lucky's now got his eyes set on the 32 of Little Snack. You know, Little Snack had some speed earlier on in that 32. He was running inside the top 5. He's got a little bit of damage on his car, so something didn't go well early on for him tonight.
No, but, you know, and I bet there's a couple people in chat that are saying, why is Lucky or the Bolt or Dan running the 13 machine instead of his trademarked 18 Interstate Batteries car? Well, HD, the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, just had their draft last week, or this week, I should say, on Wednesday, and new driver, or same driver, new team, new scheme, new number. The Bolt, aka Lucky, is now racing for Germain Racing in that number 13 Geico machine for Season 2 of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. So that's why fans out in the audience, he's running my favorite number, the 13. When I race, that's the number I run. So now I kind of become a Bolt fan or Lucky fan just by coinkadink, because he's running my favorite racing number, but not my favorite driver. But that's why you see him in this Geico Chevrolet.
Yeah, and really, congratulations to everybody that made Season 2 of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. If not mistaken, there's 12 guys on the Xbox side in eSpark who made the Pro League. So that just goes to show you the amount of talent that is in the FilterTime eSpark series.
It's not even the talent on the Xbox side. There's a few PlayStation drivers from the eNASCAR Heat Pro League running this season. The 21, the rookie, the youngest driver to be drafted in Season 1, the number 1 draft pick on PlayStation, Slade. Slade's racing now, driving that 21 John Woods machine. or Wood Brother racing machine, right? Fluffy raced last season. He was an eNASCAR Heat Pro League driver on the PlayStation side. Here he is again on season 2 of the FilterTime eSpark series, racing again with these with these Xbox drivers. And an interesting fact is we're watching still Lucky Dog here lead this race. Those PlayStation guys thought they would come over here and it would be easy. You know, we're fast on PlayStation. We have the better lap times. Now they're starting to realize how difficult and how strong these Xbox drivers really are. And they're putting a little bit of respect on their name instead of some stank on their name.
I'm an Xbox guy at heart. And yeah, we're fast, man. Any PS4 guy else to come on over here, you know, the Bear, Nick Jones, buy an Xbox to come race these guys in the eSpark series. I guarantee you, they will change your mind. But Zane, looking back to P2, CGMX Rose is actually starting to slowly reel in this 13 of Lucky Dog. If you remember, it was about a 20 car length distance between those two. He's now got it down to about 10 to 15. So Rose is really starting to slowly reel the 13 in.
And we're trying to find the one machine of Rose right now. Let's see if we can't find him here on our cameras. A little hard to bounce through 38 drivers here there he is at World Wide Technology Raceway. But now we're watching the one machine, and he's finally caught up to Leafs Justin, who the Bolt or Lucky passed about 4 or 5 laps ago. So he's still got some distance between him and the 13, but we can see here, if we look off the front end, looking off that front end here, that white car in the middle of 3 and 4, that's Lucky Dog. That's our race leader. Look at the distance between first and second place and the line of traffic that Rose has got to get through to get to that bumper.
Yeah, you know, Rose has got to get through the traffic, but Lucky Dog is really the one kind of battling these guys. Lucky is putting these guys a lap down, so they are going to battle Lucky a lot harder, I think, than they are the one at CGMX Rose. As we're looking at it right now, the 41 is just going to dip up off to the side. He's going to let out the gas and just let the one smooth sail by into turn 3.
And that's the right thing to do. You realize you're not as fast as these leaders racing it out. Give them the racing room. Give them the clean line. Let them get through and around, and then you can get back in your rhythm, because you have the one of Rose trying to run down last season's inaugural champion of Lucky Dog. And this is really now the new David versus Goliath. Track Bar had an issue getting on pit road. Smashed that front end up, blew that virtual motor. Now it's the 1 versus the 13. And can Rose clear these 2 lap down cars of the 20 and the 32 of Little Snack and Mike DB to get up there and pass Lucky for the win?
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to do it without a doubt. As you can see, he's coming up behind this 20, I think the 10 actually, down the front stretch into turn 1. He's just going to, he's going to get up out of the way. So Rose, yet again, kind of looking out. Everybody is just moving out of the way. He's like, man, I'm not battling you. I'm trying to get back to that 13 of Lucky Dog, or get the guy right behind him, which is the 32 of Little Snack, who would be your Lucky Dog, actually, if a caution was to come out.
Yep. And we have about 159, 160 laps remaining in this race. So still a lot of racing to go through. But one thing, and I don't want to jinx us, no cautions yet.
No cautions yet. You know, the racing's been really smooth, really good early on. And Zane, I think with 6 under is going to end up winning this bad boy.
Man, you might win with 6 under. I did pick 8 under, so technically I would win by default since I said 8 under. Since we both went under, does that mean we both win, or is it because you're the lowest number, you technically win?
Your price is wrong.
Oh, no! No! Darn you, Bob Barker, darn you.
And actually, CGMX Rose in the 1, slapping the wall just a bit up out of turn 4. Again, I'm not sure if that's just on my end. He's actually riding the wall a little bit down the front
No,
stretch.
I saw that as well, hitting the little bit of wall riding, rim riding there for the 1 of CMX Rose. Now that's going to let the 2 machine of a Stout Whiskey sneak back up there, trying to fight to get back up and get his lap back. But right now, all eyes on this 1 machine of Rose, who's trying to catch Lucky. Does he have the momentum and the speed to run down last season's champion?
What really slowed the 1 car up, because Lucky is long gone. Well over 10 car lengths on the 1 car. As CGMX Rose, Lucky is in the middle of turns 1 and 2, come up off of turn 2, as Rose is just entering turn one, so that just destroyed his momentum. I think if Rose is going to be able to make up the time, Zane, I think it's going to have to be on the pit road, and that means he has to be very aggressive. And we saw what happened to the 37 car, Mr. Track Bar, when he was aggressive, slapped the wall, done for the night.
But so now, HD, you're the driver in this in the one car, right? Let's do a little hypothetical theory here. Have a little fun with it. You're the driver of the one. You know that you're losing distance on that 13. Do you start talking to your crew chief about strategy? Is there a way that maybe we can stretch the fuel a little bit longer than that 13 team? Or are you hoping and praying for a caution to come out just so you can group back up and hopefully have a shot to drag race them?
If I'm the one, I like playing my cards up off of everyone else. I don't think you can do the same thing the 13 of Lucky Dog does, because you're never going to be able to catch them if you do. So I probably would start thinking early pit early, get those fresher tires so you can close the gap just a little bit. Maybe you can get about 10 car lengths away and it will work towards the end of the race. If you follow Lucky, you're not going to win. You got to do something different.
Well, you say that, but last season, I'm just going to use last season as an example here. Lucky would monkey see, monkey do with Track Bar. Stay in his tire tracks, wouldn't give an inch, just right on that bumper, maybe a few car lengths back, but he would follow everything Track Bar did, and he stayed with them. Now, I think with the distance between him and Lucky and Rose at this moment, that you do have to do something a little different. You have to be a little smarter, a little bit of trickery or strategy. Maybe that's where you call up Dohar in the 88 and go, Dohar, what do I do? Help me out here, man. Do I just start pumping the brakes a little earlier? Do I let it float a little longer? How can I help this car stretch the fuel so I can run down this 13? Because he is walking away from me like I'm standing still.
Well, with the new addition of Rose's new equipment that came in, he actually has a shifter. Now, so does Lucky Dog, but you're actually able to pop that thing into neutral, hold the clutch in, and that is going to save you a ton of gas. So maybe if you do want to play the long run game, just like JRM Dohar does so often, that may be the strategy the one is actually thinking. Maybe that's exactly why he fell off so much from the 13 of Lucky Dog. It's just hard to tell up here in the booth.
And Lucky now coming down pit road. He's going to make that hard left-hand turn onto the pit road entrance. He's going to lock him up, get in there safely as he hits the stripe. Now, does that mean that Rose is going to stay out? Let's see if we can't find the Rose machine in that one car.
Yeah, I'm actually on the one car CGMX Rose right now. He did stay out at least one lap farther than the 13 of Lucky Dog. If I'm Rose, I'm probably coming down this time by. You want to try, I know you got to try something different, but you got to be, if you're going to go later, and it looks like he is, he's not going to pit. He's going for the long run. So maybe Rose is actually trying to save the fuel.
And that's something else. You talked about it briefly just a few moments ago, and I want to go back to it real quick. The wheel play, right? A lot of these guys that are here in this league, those 12 drivers that are now eNASCAR Heat Pro League drivers, just got new Fanatec CSL Elite pedals and wheels. So some of these guys are racing on a wheel for the first time in NASCAR Heat 4. They're trying to get used to how the wheel handles, what strategies they need to use, while your champion, the Bolt, he's been doing it for a long time. He ran all last season on a wheel. He does it week in, week out as we watch Rose now come down pit road. Let's ride along with him as he makes his trip in. Is he going to pull a Track Bar? Almost does. Woo, that was close. But he's going to get in safely, and now he's going to start his 4 tires in virtual Sunoco race fuel.
Yeah, so he went about 2 laps farther than the 13 of Lucky Dog did. And, to hit on what you just said, Zane, we saw with the one at CGMX Rose. He was on pole position. This is his first time really using a shifter, and he missed the shift. So the new equipment definitely does play into effect. Yeah, Rose has had a wheel for a very long time, but the shifter is a new thing.
Yes, a shifter can make or break you. I can talk from experience where I've been like, oh, yeah, I got this. I got a brand new shifter. I can do this. Started pole at a race at Talladega. Green flag drops. I go from first to second, from second, shift into third, right back into first gear, blow my engine, wreck myself in front of the entire field, and take out about 20-plus cars and get nothing but hatred and anger from every driver.
I mean, I've been there, done that as well. It's just it's a learning curve. That's why I'm giving CGMX Rose, again, a little bit more leaning. Yet, like I said, but I've also been there, done that. But he only gets one, man. He's a hell of a driver, and I don't expect him to make the same mistake twice.
And right now, we're watching our new leader, the 88 of Dohar, who's been the man on strategy, stretching it farther than every other driver. Now we're just waiting to see when he brings that 88 machine down pit road to get service.
And that's when we're going to start talking about fuel strategy. You know, Dohar is well known for the saving of the fuel, and he does it on a controller, Zane. Now that he has a wheel, he has a clutch pedal, he can save that much more. We're seeing it here. He's already gone about 5 laps farther than your race leader, the 13 of Lucky Dog.
See, that's the assumption, is Dohar on a wheel right now. Last I'd heard when I talked to Dohar, he didn't have an Allen wrench. The man doesn't have tools in his house, and he couldn't put his wheel together. So I don't know if he went out today, finally got an Allen wrench, put that pedal and wheels together. But last I'd heard, he was still without a wheel. So he might be on it tonight. He might still be on his controller. We'll have to find out when he goes down pit road. We'll try to key him up.
How do you not own a Allen wrench, though? What? But yeah, I mean, here he is. He's still going. I mean, this is easily about 6 to 7 laps farther. So, Zane, when we start talking, cutting out a pit stop, Dohar is well on the way to cutting out his pit stop, as it looks like he's coming down this time.
Yep, international symbol right there, pulling it hard to the left. He's going to bring it down onto the pit road entrance. Let's get on board with him here as he comes down pit road. Is he going to pull a track bar? No, he's not. He's going to keep it safe and steady, really snugging it to that white line on the left-hand side. Now he's on pit road to get service and a full tank of virtual Sunoco race fuel for that 88 machine. Dohar, you got a copy down there on pit road.
Got a copy.
You on a wheel or you on your controller?
I'm on the controller right now.
Still no Allen wrench?
No Allen wrench. My ex took my tools.
Oh, man, there's nothing worse than an ex taking your tools, but you know what? You're driving like a champion right now on that controller. You're stretching the fuel mileage out. What is it that you're doing? Is it just lifting early, or are you just kind of building that car to run a little bit longer?
We built this car not with speed in mind. I felt like if you look at, back to a race track that resembles this, it was going to be New Hampshire, where we went caution-free. Take that, Nick Jobs. So at WWT, I felt we would do the same thing here as well, because we're Xbox's best, so you can't diss us, Nick Jobs. So we're going to go out here and just try a hardcore strategy.
Well, good luck to you. You're back on the track and you just got passed by Rose. We'll let you finish out the race. We'll hit you up later. And Rose, our race leader, once again now, instead of the 13, Rose is running this race. He stretched it on the Bolt. He put himself out in front, but now he's got the Doharian Snowcat, as Red 4424 of Season 1 in our broadcast booth like to call him. He's trying to run down this one machine, but Rose stretched it out, got a little bit of strategy involved. Now the question becomes, how long can he maintain this pace in this lead?
Are we sure the one car's, the 13's not leading?
I'm positive the one car is the leader.
Something must have happened to the 13. I'm trying to get up to him right now to see exactly what happened. He does have a little bit of front end damage on his car now, so maybe he made a little bit of a boo-boo. You think him pitting 2 laps earlier than the one car would have definitely kept him his lead. Plus, he had a 20 car length lead to begin with. So the 13 of Lucky Dog must have had something terrible go on during that green flag pit stops.
And the only reason I know that the one car is the leader, because I want to give a big shout out to Big John and that 17. He is running his in-car camera on Twitch to give us the spectator mode so we can see the action on the track and see the track map to know where the leader is on the track at all times. So I appreciate him doing that, because without that, we'd be a little lost. We'd be calling the 13 as the race leader when really it's your man, the Rose.
I would 100% be lost, because you would have thought it still would have been a 13. But again, I think we definitely missed something, though, Zane, out there on the track with the 13 of Lucky Dog. Nonetheless, though, here is that one car, GMX Rose, going up underneath that 42 car of J. Paul, if I'm not mistaken, as they come through turns 3 and 4, up off of turn 4, down the front stretch.
And now the question becomes, I know we didn't get to ask Dohar, but did Dohar go a lap down, or did Rose just kind of catch him coming off the exit for that lead? Because if Dohar went a lap down, even stretching it as he did on Rose and Lucky, how much speed does that one car actually have on fresh tires then?
Well, he definitely has speed, considering he got the pole position. He is fast. I know he is fast. Again, I think he's one of the fastest guys on the game on Xbox and PS4 side. Here he is showing it tonight. He is leading this baby, his first FilterTime eSpark Series race in Season 2.
Yes, round 1 of the FilterTime eSpark series of season 2, 16 races. And you know what? While we're doing that, let's talk about the next upcoming races, HD. Let's take a look at the FilterTime big board here. So, for the FilterTime eSpark Series Big Board, next week we're heading to Chicagoland Speedway. That's going to be on April 19th. 2 weeks from today, HD, we're heading to Daytona International Speedway. That's going to be on April 26th. And then, 3 weeks from today, we're going to your favorite place, the favorite place that has your greatest hot dogs in the world, and where we saw the Lucky Dog win a championship, Martinsville Speedway. That's going to be on May 3rd.
Hot dog! And that's what I'm talking about earlier in the race, that you don't want to make enemies. Because when you go to Martinsville, we've all seen life with the 20 of Matt Kenseth and the 22 of Joe Logano, where Matt Kenseth just straight drove him over going down into turn 1. Just because he wrecked him before, man. These guys don't want to make enemies, because I guarantee you the same thing will happen at Martinsville. But everybody's playing nice so far tonight, Zane, because 0 cautions out on the track.
Yeah, I think, everyone is playing really nice here tonight. And part of that's going to be it's Gateway. It's different. Everyone's probably not used to this style of track, especially since this is a truck track that the trucks primarily race. But NASCAR Heat 4 gives you the availability to race any track, any series. So these guys are really given a lot of room, a lot of respect. Also, a lot of these drivers are returning drivers from Season 1. So you're used to how these guys race. You understand their tendencies. Even with some of the newcomers or the up-and-comers and the rookies, they're going to give them the room and the respect to the veterans of the series to say, hey, you know what? I'm here to get seat time. I'm looking to win a championship. I know I can't win a championship in the first race, but I can sure as hell lose one if I make someone angry.
Without a doubt, man. I think we're seeing a lot of respect out on track still. CJMX Rose. I wonder if the 13 Lucky Dog then is sitting in P2, Zane, if J. Paul or whoever it's streaming again kind of throws the leaderboard up and kind of tell us hopefully what's around him. Maybe we can kind of guess to what the running order actually is.
Well, from the long day tongue-tied there. From the perspective I have with Big John, from what I'm seeing, he's about 6th on back, or he had about the top 6 up on his board. He just went down pit road, so he's back a little bit further in the field now at this point. So it's a little hard to tell. We'll see if we can't get an update. This is when I really miss Red, because Red used to be the man with the cameras and everything. As we watch Dohar now make a pass on the 1 machine. Taking a look, I don't think that was for position. I think that was Dohar getting his lap back on the 1. Because, yep, that was just Dohar getting a lap back. So Dohar was a lap down, even after stretching it that much on the 1.
And a 1 of CJMX Rose almost made a huge mistake coming down into turn 1. He drove that thing, and actually, I think there's a problem. The 1 is going extremely slow.
Oh, no, there
down
is.
the backstretch. I don't know if he's out of gas or having some equipment malfunction, but he is strolling down pit road around turns 3 and 4, still on the track, Zane.
Yes, and we're on board with the 1 right now. There is no engine power out of that 1 machine as we're listening. He's just rolling it through. Did a pedal come loose? Did something go on with his wheel? What happened to the 1 machine? Because right now, the 38 of Element 0 is your race leader. But we're going to stay on board with this 1 right now to see if we can't see him fire that machine back up.
I don't know, but he's still drifting around, coming up off of turn 4, scarily almost into the
Oh, no, the other drivers
line.
better watch out. Hope
Wait,
Spotty's
oh, my God, that Carbon's cleaned up coming out of turn 4. I don't know what's going on, but this 1 car, CJMX Rose, is having major difficulties right now with this equipment.
Hey, some days you're the winner, some days you have a bad day. Right now, Rose is having a bad day.
Yeah, I'd definitely say so, and I don't even know if he can quit the game. I think his wheel is just completely off the hook.
And here's the problem right now is he's driving slow enough to drive Miss Daisy on the front stretch, but he's got a lot of traffic coming out of the corners right now. If somebody gets 2-3 wide off of exit, there's nowhere for him to go. He can't make a move. He's got to hope and pray that no one slams into him or anyone looks for an opportunity to bring out a sneaky, sneaky caution. And that's one of the reasons we're staying on the 1 car right now to see what happens as we watch. Oh, the 2 car almost collides with them.
Oh, look out, there's someone in the inside wall. The 1 is still got steering at least. He's almost to the start-finish line. If he makes this thing to turn 1, that's when things are going to get hairy. At this point, you got to think about just shutting the Xbox off so you can get up off the track.
Who do you start calling right now? Do you call track bar and go, wait, hold on, he's firing it up, wait. Oh,
he's gone.
He's gone. That's going to put him back behind the wall here. Let's see if we can't find our new race leader. That's going to be the 38 of Element. Hopefully he doesn't lag this time and cause everything to go chaotic.
Well, let's not hope it doesn't happen, but that was pretty chaotic right there. And as I'm on the 38 of Element right now, as he's up off of turn 4, down the front stretch. First time leading laps here tonight is the 38 of Element Zero. His first season as well in the FilterTime eSpark series.
Yeah, right now we're running on board with the 38 inside the cockpit with them as we listen to those horsepowers rev. And oh, there's a wreck in front of him. Barely misses the 00. That could have been calamity corner for the 38, your race leader, and the 00 of Freddie, but bobs and weaves, and he's keeping it going straight as he hits the stripe.
Zane, I don't want to be the race leader. Every race leader we've seen 3 race leaders tonight so far. It started with the 37 of Track Bar, blown engine, out for the race. The 13 of Lucky Dog, something happened to him to where he lost the race lead when he had a commanding lead of 20+ car lengths. And now the 1 of CGMX Rose.
Oh, the 42 around.
42 was around in the crash, and the 38 of Element Zero actually coming down for a green flag pit stop.
Yeah, he's making his way down pit road. We're going to take a look on our in-car perspective. Now the 52. The 52, which we haven't talked about at all race. That's going to be in-car racing, or NASCAR racing, I assume is what his handle means. Let's see if we can't find him on the track here.
He's actually down pit road as well. He's coming to his pit stall. He drove around that 38 of Element Zero as they're coming into pit road. So he was very, very aggressive, and he was able to pick up the race lead there for a moment.
And that's going to put the 13 of Lucky Dog back into the race lead. Lots of damage on that front end for that 13 Geico machine. But he has got to be the luckiest man on the raceway. I guess Lucky Dog is a good name for him because Rose, who had a dominant car up front, running strong, seemed like nobody was going to be able to catch him, has an issue late in the race. Pedals, wheels, something goes out, and now he's going to finish way in the back and not have a great points race. As we watch the 13 of Lucky Dog bring that machine down pit road, he's going to give up the lead now.
Yeah, 13 of Lucky Dog coming down pit road to get his Ford Mr. Feelgoods and some Sunoco fuel as he's slow crawling around. Now I think this is where JRM Dohart's going to get back on the lead lap. Again, he's going to stretch it about 5 more laps than everybody else. He's very close, I do believe, cutting out an entire pit stop.
And that's what we're watching right now is JRM Dohart in that 88. But I don't actually think he's the race leader. I'm going to say, looking at my board, it's the 9 of Moordog who's bringing that down pit road right now. And second place is also coming down behind him, and that's going to be Big John.
Yeah, these guys are all coming down pit road as I still got my eyes on the 88 of Dohart. I think he will be race leader here in a matter of time. He's coming through turns 3 and 4. He's got a lot of traffic in front of him, but he's not too worried about it. I don't think he's got that pedal all the way to the metal. Right now, he's just kind of cruising around. He's saving. He's trying to go for that old Dohar method, be able to sneak a win out here tonight at World Wide Technology, a.k.a. Gateway.
Hey, with 125 laps remaining here at World Wide Technology Raceway, it looks like Dohar might be able to pull a win if it stays green. If a caution flag comes out, it's going to change all that strategy. It's going to throw it all out the window. Things are going to have to be re-racked. You're going to have to decide how you're going to run this race. But right now, he's able to stretch that 88 machine further than anyone else on the track. And if it stays this way for the rest of the night, he could be pulling that Valvoline machine into victory lane.
He very well could be, man. It's just a matter of what are your lap times? How much time are you actually losing trying to save fuel? I mean, we've seen people try this method a lot. You know, yeah, they're able to make it. They're able to cut out a pit stop, but the time they are losing on the track is just outweighing that pit stop and making it. So So it'll be interesting to see on if he can pick up the win or what place he finishes in.
What place he finishes in, and as well, what strategy works. So here's the thing: is let's go back to last season real quick here, HD. Right, as we're watching Dohar run these laps as your race leader. Last season, J-Mac tried this same strategy of fuel mileage. Can I run it longer than everyone else? He could. He put himself late in those green flag runs up front. A late caution would come out, and he would fall back like a rock in the Lackahatchee River and just couldn't make up the grounds compared to the pure speed of a lot of those guys who built those short run setups. Dohar said it when we talked to him on his last pit stop. We didn't build the car for speed. We built it really for strategy, for fuel mileage, for handling. And we're seeing that right now. But if those late cautions that historically happen in the eSpark series late in the race, is that going to help Dohar, or is that going to give everything back to Lucky Dog in that 13?
You know, I mean, and it could also be catching cars a lap down who are also trying the strategy. You know, maybe he can trap a Lucky Dog a lap down with him running the extra laps, because as they come down pit road, Dohar is still chugging along. And if a caution comes out at the right time, Dohar might have numerous people lapped. They're going to have to stay out on those older tires where he can get 4 good tires on that car and still cruise along.
And he is stretching it. This is the longest I think we've seen him stretch this fuel mileage. This is what, lap 5 now since our leaders went down pit road, and he's still going out there. But the problem is, look how slow he is in the corners, and we don't mean it in any disrespect. You can just tell that he is trying to save and maintain those tires and fuel, but he is so much slower in the corners compared to someone like Lucky, Big John, Element Zero.
Yeah, I mean, and it's still what I was just talking about. You know, is it worth maybe cutting the pit stop out, as it looks like he's coming down pit road right now? I think he was able to stretch it a little bit farther than what he did the last time, and that's going to keep bumping up, bumping out until he does cut out an entire pit stop. As he goes down pit road, you would think the race leader would be the 38 of Element once this cycles through.
And that's what we're waiting to see, is who will become our race leader as they cycle through. Dohar making that long trip down pit road. Dohar, you got a copy.
Got a copy, HD and Zane.
Hey, man, that car's looking good right now. It looks like that strategy is really starting to play out for you. What kind of worries do you have as this race goes on?
It's just got to stay green, guys. We're basically extending like 2 laps each run over the leaders, and the 13 keeps having issues getting on the pit road. I'm hearing over the radio, and then the one car was having problems with his pedals, so that's why we were telling him to park it. We were telling him to turn off the Xbox because he was rolling there, but now we're just racing the 38, guys.
Hey, well, good luck to you. See you at the end of the race here. Good luck, man. You got the 38 coming on you quick. And HD, you were right. That new race leader was the 38 of Element Zero, newcomer in the eSpark series, sponsored by FilterTime. And he's showing right now that, hey, I can play the fuel mileage strategy game too. But as Dohar pointed out, and we're also seeing in chat from Rock NASCAR, Rose had no shifter and no pedals under that incident. So yeah, that car completely shut down on him.
Yeah, and you definitely hate to see that happen, especially for the one car, CGMX Rose. He got the race lead. This is his first time in the FilterTime eSpark series as well. He was cruising and boozing. He was probably going to pick up the win in his first race here. And then it's the malfunction. It happens. You hate to see it, but hey, that is life. Go get him next week, buddy. But yeah, here's also the newcomer, man. And really a guy that came out of nowhere is this Element Zero guy. You know, he's raced in the AKA League. I think he's raced in Shake and Bake. He is really showing that he is a top guy here in the NASCAR Heat 4.
He's working that wheel right now. He had pressure from a veteran in the eSpark series of Tom Flitty in that 43, running that World Wide Technology paint scheme. They were battling for the lead, but Tom drove it in deep going into the corner. That's going to open the door for Dohar now. Dohar looking to the inside, but Dohar's trying to fight to get a lap back. He's not racing for position at this moment. Who is racing for position, as we look off the rear deck lid of that 38, is that 43 machine of Tom.
Well, there we go, Zane. We got ourselves a race here at World Wide Technology Raceway as they come through turns 1 and 2 down the backstretch. Only a car length separating themselves as they go down into turn 3.
Things are shaking up as we get almost to that halfway point, about 14 laps away from that halfway mark here at World Wide Technology Raceway. And we have a two-car battle for the lead. The 38 and the 43, the rookie versus a veteran. What is it going to be as they dive into one? It looks like Element's going to try to close off that gap, but TomTom's going to stay right in his tire tracks.
You know, it's all about getting the run up off the corner. You need the run to be able to slide up on the guys so you can go into the corner under them. This is a very low-line dominant track here tonight. We've seen it all night long. If you're going to make the pass, you got to make the run. I think that's what the 43 of TomTom Flitty is trying to do. You see him back up turns 3 and 4 and try and get a huge run up off of turn 4 down the front stretch.
Down the front stretch, though, it's about a 4-car length gap between the 38 and the 43 as we go into one. Look at him throw it all the way in there. Closes up by 2 car lengths now as they come off at turn 2, though. Element gets the run. We're still looking off the rear deck lid of the 38 machine as that 43 of TomTom tries to run him down.
Yeah, he's still about 2 car lengths up off of him as they come down in a turn 3. TomTom running a little bit higher. Pretty much diming the corner, washing up in the middle, fast up off of it. He's still about a 2 car length distance. Now call it 1 down into turn 1, but that 38 still got a lap car of the 88 of Dohar in front of him. Again, Dohar is back on the lead lap playing that fuel strategy game.
Yes, Dohar did play that fuel strategy game, got his lap back. Fresher tires versus older tires really coming out to play, but Dohar is working that strategy. He's hoping that a caution doesn't come out. TomTom now sneaking up to the bumper, closed in with less than a car length away from the 38. The 38 of Element really trying to stretch his legs again as we come down the front stretch going into one.
Yeah, as we go into turn 1, TomTom lost a little bit of distance there. Call it 2.5 car lengths through turns 1 and 2. TomTom again running a little bit higher through the center of the corner, trying to get the run up off of it, trying to pull that draft here down the backstretch.
And now we're on board with TomTom, bouncing through him with that Worldwide Technologies paint scheme. Looking off that front end as he's trying to close the gap between him and the 38 of Element Zero. Look at the power run, the momentum to the inside. It's a drag race down the front stretch going into 1 HD.
As they go into 1, they're side by side. TomTom and the 43 down low, trying to put the power down up off the corner, but Element with a good run down the backstretch.
Element using that high lane momentum. He's only got him by half a car length, maybe more. But into turn 3, TomTom sticking it all the way down to the bottom. He's going to get it to roll off so smooth. But can Element in the 38 get the run like TomTom did off of 4? He can't quite do it. TomTom's going to clear the 38, move the 43 to the race lead, and 38 to second.
Yeah, first time leading laps tonight is going to be the 43 of TomTom. TomTom is no slouch. This is a wreck down the backstretch, down to turn 2. TomTom.
The 38. Element's caught in it. 43's caught in it. Here comes the race leaders. Caution's out. Woo. And while the caution's out, let's take a quick moment to catch our breath. We'll be back in a few moments here. And we are back here at World Wide Technology Raceway in Madison, Illinois. Zane the Bearded One here with HD Motorsports. The green flag is about to be dropped, and we're green flag racing once again as the Bolt leads them into 1.
Yeah, Lucky Dog actually was the Bolt last year. Now he's Lucky Dog in his 13 Chevy Geico Camaro as he comes up off of turn 2. Down the backstretch, we got the 48 of the Aviator working his way up the P2. There's the 17 of Big John rounding out your top 3.
The Aviator, we haven't seen a lot of him tonight, but Big John, he's been running the top 5 all night. He's our in-car race camera perspective to give us some details on lap counts, positions, knowing where the leaders are under green flag stops. And now he's battling for second place, trying to run down the 13 at the Bolt.
Yeah, he's trying to run the 13 down. 13 of Bolt's got about a 5-car length lead as they come out of turn 2. Down the backstretch, Big John up the P2. 48 of the Aviator back to P3. But look at this, Zane. Again, in the top 5 is going to be the 9 of Moordog, right behind that 48.
Yeah, and Moordog as well. He's been strong tonight, putting himself in the top 5 for most of the evening. Oh, this is a lot of calamity. Element 0 and the 43 of TomTom beating and banging down the bad stretch here as we're just bouncing through the cameras. They're still beating and banging a little bit. Now there's some separation between the two. But back up front, it's still the Lucky Dog show with Big John, my middle name Mud, Dirty Water, Too Hot For You Son, trying to run him down with the Aviator and the 48 behind him.
Yeah, the 13 of Lucky Dog's really starting to stretch that lead. He's now got about 7 to 8 car lengths. I just don't think that 17's got the speed to be able to hang with him. Now, maybe he's got the long run car. You called it earlier, Zane. These guys bring different setups here. You know, Darhard usually brings the long run setup. He wants to save fuel. He wants to play the field game to where a guy like the 37 of Mr. Track Bar and the 13 of Lucky Dog and the 1 of CGMX Rose, they kind of bring those fast cars. They want to be leading laps and a lot of them.
Yeah, and we're riding on board right now with Big John in that 17 Fastenal Ford Mustang. Behind him, you see that ally machine of the Aviator and that bright green Chevrolet. That Camaro is going to be Moordog running that Mountain Dew scheme, which is a pretty looking scheme, I got to say.
It's a great looking scheme. I mean, you said it, man. You know, Moordog came this year to win races as he slaps the wall a little bit up out of turn 2. I think we jinxed him talking about him, but he's having a good running. He's been running inside the top 10 all night long, and here he is trying to get up underneath that 17 of Big John, and moving up to P2 is the Aviator.
Yep, move Big John to 3rd, the Aviator to 2nd, but Moordog right there. You could throw a blanket over the top 4 right here. The 48, the 17, the 9, the 19. Oh, and the Aviator checks up hard. That's going to get Big John stacked up, who's going to get the 9 stacked up into him as well.
Yeah, Aviator really stacked a lot of cars up. They were running nose to tail, about 5 cars deep. Created a little bit of distance for him, ended up working for him in the long run, but Big John really driving it into turn 3, up off of turn 4, trying to get that spot back.
And you know, that's going to make you have to wonder, is that intentional, or did he just get into the corners too hot, everyone didn't expect it, or will there be retaliation from the 17 as we're on board? Look at him closing the gap on the 48, less than a car length off the corner though. The Aviator at that 48 stretching his legs, trying to run away from that 17.
Intentional or not, if you're the car behind someone, it's your responsibility not to run into them. I think it may have been a little lag spike. I think maybe he moving in just a tad bit too much, but nonetheless, I think it's no harm, no foul. I don't expect there to be any retaliation as Lucky Dog up there is really driving away. He's got about a 15 car length lead coming through turns 1 and 2.
99 laps to go left in this race, and right now Lucky Dog is like Emperor Palpatine up front going, yes, yes, do my bidding, fight each other. That's right, my Sith. Because as long as they're fighting each other, they're not fighting him for a race win, and he can just keep walking away from this pack of cars.
That's exactly what he's doing. Now working their way into the top 5. I think first time tonight is going to be the 62 of Asylum. I haven't talked about him all night long. Here he is having a good run in the top 5, diving it down low, trying to get a spot from Moordog.
Let's see if we can't go ride with Asylum here, looking for him right now on the cameras.
And they're going down a backstretch. Asylum all over the bumper, looking low, down into turn 3. Thought better of it. He's going to check up the corner, trying to get a good run up off of it. He's got the 52 of NASCAR Racing 64 on his bumper as well as they go nose to tail down the front stretch.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find him right now. It's very hard to find this car.
Yeah, he's all over the bumper of the 9 of Moordog again, running out. Then him as they come through turns 1 and 2. Up off of turn 2, there goes the 52, trying to get a spot as well from the 62. Coming down into turn 3. This 52, diving it down in there.
Now we're on board with them, but look at it right now. the 48, the 17. They've created a little bit of gap between the 9, the 62, the 51. Is that the car right there? Looking to the inside?
Yeah, that's the 51 Ford Mustang.
Of Rocket 5X.
Yeah, Rocket 5X really diving it down in there, working his way into the top 5 first time tonight.
Yeah, but right now, what we talked about in the 62, he's making an appearance battling the 52 of, that's of in-car Racing 64, trying to put the 62 back down behind him. Can't quite clear him, gives him a little shot, the 62 does, on the 52, as this is all happening behind Mordog in the 9.
Yeah, going to turns 1 and 2, 62 with a huge run through the center of the corner, up off of it. These twos are going at it. Really, it's a 4-car battle for about 4th place as Mordog is leading the choo-choo train.
You know what? Let's do a little old-fashioned filter time cranker up, HD.
Sounds good.
If your filters are dirty and you need someone to come by and replace them, go over to FilterTime. They make this studio smell delicious and awesome. They'll help your house smell fresh and clean all the time, as we're on board with the 19 of Ward Burton. That's my best Ward Burton impersonation I could do there. But he just got passed by the 62, put him down a position, moved the 62 of Asylum up.
Yeah, 62 Asylum dropping back a few positions himself. Again, the 52 of In-Car Racing 64 really put on a show, working his way inside the top 5, running in 4th place. The 9 of Mordog running in P5. But look at this, Zane, the 32 of Little Snack starting to make his presence known yet again as he's diving up underneath that 9 of Mordog.
And I'm trying to get our cameras on Little Snack. Actually, I wish I had a Little Snack right about now. I'm kind of hungry, a little peckish. You know, we really got to talk about Dohar about filling this booth up with snacks next time.
Yeah, and we really do. I think some fruit snacks, a little fruit roll-up action. But yeah, here is that 32 of Little Snack. If I'm not mistaken, is actually racing for Go Fast Racing, but getting wicked loose up off of turn 4 and losing a spot to the 62.
He's 62, had to wheel it and wheel hop down there on the curbing. He's trying to get around the 32, but here comes the 43 of Tom Flitty. He's trying to get around the 32 of Little Snack as well, and behind him, there's your previous race leader of Element Zero in that 38 working on the 19 now.
Yeah, Element Zero involved in the first caution tonight. He had a car right in front of him spin out, ran right into him, so he dropped to the back of the pack, but working his way back towards the front fine, running inside the top 10. Starting to chase these guys down, coming down into turn 1, about a 2-car length distance between him and a 32 of Snack.
And laps are winding down fast, HD. We're under 100 laps left to go here at World Wide Technology Raceway, and the Bolt has checked out. And these are the best battles on the track right now, from second on back to about 6th place.
Yeah, the 9 of Mordog working his way up past the 62. Now the 43 of Tom Flitty putting a lot of pressure on the 62 down the front stretch into turn 1. Just isn't there.
He just isn't there, but look at him trying to close it in. We've seen Tom a few times here tonight get a great run off of 4 down the front stretch. He's going to dive it low, though, a little bit. Looks like the international symbol for I might pit. Let's take a look. No, he's going to stay out. Just got a little loose off the corners as they're battling 2 by 2 in front of him as we look off the front end of the 43.
Yeah, the 62 Asylum's right up underneath the 9 of War Dog as they come up off of turn 4. Down the front stretch, the 62 pulling some side draft as they go entering down into turn 1.
Yep. 87 laps left remaining, HD. 87 laps. With how the pit stops have fallen tonight, that's probably going to be about 3.5 more stops for these drivers if it stays green. But look at this. TomTom now looking to the inside of Mordog. Can't quite clear him. Now he's going to get to the inside. He's going to be side by side with the 9. But can he get that momentum run that we've seen before from the 43? As he does, he's going to clear the 9.
Yeah, the low line is just so dominant coming up off of turn 4. You just see him pull easily about 2 car lengths on anybody up above you. I think the 9 of Mordog's in a little bit of trouble. He's lost 2 spots in a matter of 1 lap. He's got the 32, a little snack now, trying to get his snack on as he comes down the backstretch.
HD, you call him a wounded gazelle. And we're seeing it right now as the 9 of Mordog is trying to hold on. The 32 of Little Snack behind him. The 38 of Element Zero behind Little Snack and the 32. And they're both breathing down the bumper of the 9 of Mordog.
Yeah, the 9 of Mordog's got a lot of cards in his mirror, but look at this. They got another battle up here with the 62 going down low on the 43 of TomTom coming out of turn 2, side by side.
Man, Asylum and TomTom putting on a race right now. TomTom's going to have the position, though, as they go into 3. Asylum's going to fall back 3 car lengths. He's going to try to close that gap again. He's got Mordog behind him. Little Snack and Element Zero behind him, trying to rush this 43 as they come down the front stretch, diving into 1.
I think the 43 of TomTom's eating good tonight. He's shown he has a good car. He passed all of these guys right behind him as they come up off of turn 2. He's going to extend the lead that much more on the 62 at Asylum, as it looks like the 43 might be coming down for a green flag pit stop.
Yeah, and the 62 looks like he's going to come with them. They both gave that signal on the pit road as the 43 and the 62. Little hard there into the corner. Going to try to stick it right on those white lines so he doesn't hit that outside retaining wall, and they're going to get on the pit road safely.
That was a great piece of driving from them two down pit road. I think that was the best I've seen tonight so far. So they're getting some for Mr. Feelgood and Sunoco Fuel in these cars and trying to stretch them the distance with, again, Zane. Again, we're getting ready under 80 laps. Laps are winding down, and I can't help to think of Dohar's strategy. Maybe this caution might have played in his favor. You know, he's not going to lose as much time as this thing went green all the way to the end. I think Dohar, you got to keep your eye on him.
You got to keep your eye on Dohar right now as our leader. The Bolt has brought that 13 down pit road. He's going to give up the race lead here. Try to take a look, and it's going to be Mordog in the 9 machine in that Mountain Dew green and black Camaro. He is now leading this race. So the question becomes, when does Mordog pull that machine down the pit road?
He's coming down the backstretch right now. Looks like he's singling it. He's down towards the apron, down the backstretch into turn 3. So here comes Mordog, 2 laps after the first guys to go.
Mordog brings it down safely. Element Zero is going to fall in line. Word Burton is going to fall in line as well. So the 38, the 9, and the 19 on the pit road, waiting for it to cycle through. But we're going to watch Dohar in the 88 because he's been that strong, dominant car on fuel mileage all night long here at Gateway, also known as World Wide Technology Raceway. So we'll have to wait and see how this thing shakes up through these green flag pit stops.
Yeah, Dohar's coming down the backstretch. He's not coming down this time by. There goes another guy. Looks like the 18 Elite Justin coming down for his green flag pit stop. Now behind Dohar, we got some guys with fresher tires because here comes that 32, a snack. He's going to fly by him. Dohar's in fuel saving mode. There goes the 20 of Leafs Justin as well.
Ooh, the 20, man, almost cutting it close there on the 88. Dohar's going to look to the inside of that 88. Trying to take a look, and we have a new race leader, and that's going to be the 4 machine. So let's find the 4 car right now through the field. Let's take a look. That's going to be J-Mac attacking. Hey, I talked about him during pre-race. I talked about J-Mac and that fuel mileage. If he's dedicated, strong, if he's dominant in the start, he's usually going to be strong for the whole race. Right now, he's proven me a little wrong. He's been quiet for most of this race, but now later in this race, as we see him now, coming down pit road, he was running up front. So the strategy, him and Dohar, the 2 tacticians of this league, coming down pit road together, HD. So this might be our battle for the race win if this thing stays green.
Yeah, and they came nose to tail down pit road. J-Mac with the slight edge again. He was in front of him. These guys are on the exact same strategy, going about 5 laps farther than the first guy to pit. You add that up over 3 pit stops, we're talking about 15 to 20 laps possibly farther over a run, and that is going to be mighty close to cutting out the full one.
Yes, but the lead goes back to the 13 of the Bolt. He's going to take over the commanding race lead here. But take a look at this. Big John in second. In-car racing 64 in third. The Aviator in fourth. And Tom Flitty in that 43, rounding out your top 5 right now.
Yeah, as I'm trying to cycle through, I'm on Tom. He's got about a 10-car length between him and the 48 of the Aviator. Big John's got a little bit of gap between him and in-car racing, but the closest battle, I think, is going to be the Aviator and that 52 as they go down the backstretch into turn 3.
Yes, and now we're watching Lucky Dog really stretch his legs, take that commanding lead, and get even a larger lead right now. No one near him. Big John about 4.9 seconds back behind Lucky Dog. And let's see if we can't bounce through here to find Big John.
Yeah, I think Big John's coming down the backstretch right now. Coming down in turn 3, or possibly in the front stretch. I'm trying to cycle through. Oh, a pain.
There he is. Yeah, Big John right now diving it into turn 3, turn 4. In front of him, that 00 of, Freddie. Freddie getting a little bit of pressure on him, though. Doesn't want to go a lap down.
Yeah, Big John getting by him, though, at the line, coming down the front stretch in the turn 1. I think as far as raw speed, I don't think anybody is going to touch the 13 of Lucky Dog. He's just on a whole nother level, especially with the 37 of Mr. Track Bar and the 1 of CGMX Rose with technical difficulties. Blown engines for both of them for this race. As far as speed, I think Lucky Dog gets it done. The only thing I see getting him possibly is either the 4 of J-Mac or that 88 of Dohar on the fuel strategy game.
Hey, don't count out, though, an incident happened in front of the leaders. We saw it happen earlier with the 38. Oh, woo, man. Big John throwing it into that corner deep. Had to whoa up hard before he almost rear-ended the 8 machine, which is not being drove by Rangers tonight, but being driven by Cosmic in that 8 machine. So that's a different driver change since there was a substitution since Kerr had a family thing.
Yeah, the 2 of Stout Whiskey actually down in the grass on pit road. Might have spun that baby around trying to enter there to get some 4 good tires on that car. Luckily, he was able to get it going. No caution out so far.
No, and that's kind of what I was talking about there, HD. The leader of Lucky Dog has got to watch out for lapped cars and cars on older tires. That's going to be the biggest situation. We saw the 43 of Tom and the 38 of Element run into that situation on the backstretch of all places. Here, we're about coming up to about 60 laps to go here at World Wide Technology Raceway, and anything can happen. You know that you're hoping that this thing stays green. You don't have to worry about the field stacking it back up again, because we've seen it historically. Once those late cautions come out, they just breed cautions because guys in the mid-pack to back think they can win it in 2-3 laps when it's not feasibly possible. But right now, Big John about 5.7 seconds back from our race leader of Lucky Dog. Behind him, in-car is about 1.8 back from Big John, and the Aviator sitting about 2.8 back. So almost 2 seconds difference between in-car and Aviator from our second place center of Big John. And let's see if we can't go find the Aviator in that 43 and watch his battle for third.
Yeah, Aviator in a 48 as they come up off of turn 2. They're actually going down the backstretch. I got my eyes on that 52 of in-car racing 64 as they come down into turn 3. Only about a car length distance between these two, trying to battle it out for third place. Aviator with a good run up off of turn 4 down the front stretch. In-car really blocking them. As actually just let the Aviator go. Aviator up the P3.
Yeah, Aviator just slid by. It looks like in-car wanted nothing to do with him. He's just like, here you go, man. You can have that position as we look off the rear deck lid of Aviator in that 48. Back to the 52 of in-car. Man, that was a power move if I've ever seen one here tonight. Almost reminiscent of what we saw Tom do on the 38 of Element.
I don't necessarily think that's a power move. I think this is a strategy move I think the 52 of In-Car Racing 64 is trying to get behind the Aviator and use his draft to save some fuel. I think he seriously hit the brakes down the front stretch. I think he's trying to play a little strategy, trying to stretch it that much farther and trying to get on the Dohar game as laps wind down here tonight.
Yeah, and you talked about in the beginning of the race, probably about, 15, 20 laps in, the draft is so powerful here at World Wide Technology Raceway that you want to use it to your advantage. You want to have it pull you up, suck you up to that guy's bumper. It's not going to help you a lot of the times, but it will help you in that fuel mileage race or that drive off the corners. And right now, you could be right, that 52 is using that draft to his advantage and having the 48 do all the legwork and pull him around the track.
He had a 52 of Racing 64, still about a car length up off him as that 48 of the Aviator is going to slap the outside wall in turn 2.
I don't know if that was a commentator's curse or Aviator just kind of fell asleep a little bit behind the wheel.
I think the Aviator was like, you know what, I'm going to try your strategy. How about this? I'm going to slap the wall to turn 2. Now, I'm going to save some gas. I don't think that's exactly what happened, but you hate to see it. So move the 52 of In-Car Racing 64 back up to P3. Aviator back to P4. All over the bumper coming through turns 1 and 2.
All over the bumper trying to get the run off of 2. Down the backstretch, can't quite close the gap as In-Car Racing takes off here down the backstretch. But while this is happening, take a look. Big John in second is stretching his legs a little bit, not running down the bolt, but about a tenth a lap. He's getting a little bit further and further away from these two who were battling, not really battling it, just swapping spots. Here, you lead a few laps, I'll lead a few laps. You lead a few laps, I'll lead a few laps. But while they're doing this game of cat and mouse, Big John has just been smooth and consistent, walking away from these two.
And not only that, you got to look behind these two because here comes the 62 of Asylum and the 43 of Tom Tom as they're starting to close the gap a little bit on this battle for 3rd and 4th place as they got a battle kind of brewing themselves for 5th and 6th place. Tom Tom over the bumper of the 62 of Asylum as they come up out of turn 4 down the front stretch. You got about a 10 car length distance lead between him and the 48.
Trying to find a battle right now here for you, HDs. You're calling it. Right
and
there
actually,
we are.
Yeah, the 48 of Tom Tom actually got up underneath the 62 of Asylum.
Oh, the
down
62 to the wall.
Slapped the wall out of turn 2.
I don't know if he got scared there, HD, as I'm right now trying to find the 43 of Tom Tom. There we are. But it looked like the 62 didn't expect the 43 of Tom Tom to be there. And Asylum just jerked that wheel to the left, or to the right, I apologize, to the outside wall. And now he's trying to run down the 43 again.
I think it's just a commentator curse because I was talking about the 48 of the Aviator. He slapped the outside wall. Some 62 of Asylum. He slapped the outside wall as well. Maybe I'm going to pull a, all right, see you later. I'm going to get out of here. Have a good time on the rest of the race.
Don't leave me. Bring back snacks.
But nah, that's going to allow the 43 of Tom Tom to actually grow his lead on the 62. I think the 62 of Asylum's got heavy right front damage, on his car. 43 of Tom Tom easily got about a 5 car length lead now.
Yeah, and if people don't understand that joke that HB was making, a few weeks ago for Court Vision, me and Evan Picosco, the voice of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series on iRacing, we're calling that race at Road America. Every time we brought up a driver, they would wreck. No joke, like we picked a random driver in the running order just to kind of have fun, and he ended up spinning as soon as we said his name. So we just come to conclusions that we were curses for the entire night, and then Evan locked himself out of the broadcast booth.
Luckily, I got the rights to be able to get back in.
You have the
But
keys.
Zane,
I made sure to give you the keys this time.
Oh, I got the keys, definitely. So I guess we might as well get the battle back up here for 3rd place because the Aviator is actually back to the bumper of that 52 of In-Car Racing 64 as they come down the backstretch into turn 3. We got the 17 of Big John up there in front of these guys. He's still got about a 10 car length lead running in P2.
But you know, here's something interesting, is while the Aviator has closed this gap on In-Car Racing in that 52, the 48 and the 52 have actually closed the gap on Big John from 2 seconds to 1.6, 1.5 seconds back from that bumper of the 17. So if they stay in line like this and not try to battle each other, they might be able to make it a 3-car battle for second.
Yeah, they're definitely closing the gap in, but I think we're going to see green flag pit stops come here very, very shortly. I guess within the next 5 to 7 laps, these guys will trickle down pit road, and I think that's where you're going to really be able to make up that about second and a half up on that 17 of Big John.
Well, you really got to hit pit road right. We've seen it a few times from these guys, driving really hard on the entryway and then over driving that corner. Hell, we saw Track Bar earlier tonight destroy his car by hitting the safer barrier to the entrance of pit road. It's all about that drive on. If you can get that perfect drive on, you'll make up a lot of time. If you mess up that drive on, you're going to be falling back faster than you expected, because now you got to whoa up the car even more. You got to stabilize it, get it down pit road, get those 4 tires, those 2 cans of fuel in the car, and get back on the track to start running these guys down again.
Yeah, and in-car racing is really starting to do that. He's really starting to stretch his legs because he's gapped the 48 of the Aviator to about 7 car lengths as they run down the backstretch, and he's really closing the gap to that 17 of Big John as we start to see those people trickle down pit road. There goes the 3.
The 3's on pit road. That's Diamond X20X. He's making a trip down pit road as we're still on board with the 48. But, you know, HD, as these green flag stops start to happen, let's take a look at the upcoming weeks here for the FilterTime eSpark series. You know, next week we're going to Chicagoland Speedway, April 19th. That's going to be a great race. Those guys put on a great race at the high-speed bank corners of Chicagoland. But then they're going to up the ante in 2 weeks. As the 48 now comes down pit road, in 2 weeks, they're going to go to the Big Daddy, the Daytona International Speedway, the home of drafting, the Daytona 500, the Coca-Cola 400, the Pepsi 400, whatever you want to call it. They're going to go there on April 26th, and then 3 weeks from today, the world's greatest hot dogs, the world's greatest short track, the paperclip, Martinsville Speedway on May 3rd.
Yeah, when you talk about a track like Chicagoland, it's almost kind of like a World Wide Technology Raceway, to where it is kind of a low-line, dominant track. We're going to see a lot of guys trying to work the run up off of turn 4, up off of turn 2 to be able to dive it low, coming into turns 1 and into turns 3. You got very similar tracks kind of in a way as far as racing strategy goes.
Yes, and then what's even crazier is you're going to go from these fast draft tracks of Chicagoland and Daytona, and then throw them right into a short track of Martinsville, where it's all about braking and timing and entry of your corners, and you can't really use the draft. You're going from 200 plus miles an hour to about 120, 130.
It's definitely going to be a big speed difference, a sense of speed, but I think these guys are going to be able to handle it, man. I mean, so far tonight, Zane, let's throw a shout out to everybody out here on the track. 1 caution, 30 plus cars on the track, and a short track basically, nonetheless. Only 1 caution. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, and you know, we picked, you were 6 under, I was 8 under, and here tonight they're showing us that something has changed from season 1 to season 2. These guys are putting on a show. 1 caution overall, and even with the incident that we saw with Rose, where he lost feeling in his pedals and his shifter, everyone was smart enough and wise enough and had the ability and the foresight to see in front of them, to move out of the way, to get out of the way. There was a few close calls, but no one collided into that 1 car to bring out a caution. Everyone kept it clean and kept it green.
I thought there's a few times there where I thought we were going to send a virtual helicopter out to pick up CGMX Rose. There was a couple close calls with someone almost running into the back of coming out of turn 4 down the front stretch.
And right now, your race leader, Dohar, the Doharian Snowcat, and that 88, the tactician, working it right now. We're waiting for him to pull that 88 Valvoline Camaro down pit road, but it's only a matter of time before he's going to have to give up this race lead and give it to somebody else, probably going to be the 13 of Lucky Dog. We're just going to have to wait and see.
As I think I see Dohar coming up off of turn 4. I'm on the 4 car. J-Mac, who was on the same pit strategy as Dohar. So I think Dohar's got a little bit longer run speed than the 4 of J-Mac as he taps the wall just a bit. Come out of turn 4, down the front stretch into turn 1. But Dohar's able to cut out a pit stop. I think he may be able to sneak this out.
Yeah, and the question becomes, when does Dohar give that international symbol of I'm coming down pit road? He's been strong all night. Him and his pit crew and his crew chief working out the strategy and the fuel mileage, keeping that car up front during the green flag stops. When they're over, though, he finds himself falling back into a little bit of traffic, having to work his way through, but he's been patient. He hasn't pushed the issue. He's been staying in line, using the draft to his advantage, and that might be one of the biggest things of why he's able to stretch this fuel mileage, is he is back there with draft traffic, using it to pull him through like a tugboat.
Yeah, and I would kind of accept. Actually, here he comes down pit road right now, clipping the grass just a bit as he's get his slow road going. He's gonna get some Sunoco fuel, 4 tires. Whoa, we're up, and that's a good clean entry.
It's a good clean entry. Now let's wait and see who takes over the lead as Dohar is on his way down the pit road, as HD pointed out. 4 tires and a full tank of virtual Sunoco race fuel, and it looks like Lucky Dog in the 13 has taken over his race lead. Back to where he left off when the green flag stops happened, HD.
Yeah, I'm on Lucky Dog right now. I'm trying to get my virtual knock looked up, see if I can see about the 17 or the 43 or anybody like that, but I just see none of them in the rear view mirror of this 13 of Lucky Dog.
Yeah, and I'm trying to take a look here to see who second place is right now. It's a little difficult. It's probably going to be Dohar. But right now, TomTom sitting in third, the Aviator in fourth, Big John in fifth, Element Zero in that 38, who got caught up in that incident on the backstretch, making his way back up to sixth, and then Moordog sneaking up into seventh.
Well, actually, we got the 48 of the Aviator and the 43 of TomTom battling it out as they go side by side, coming through turns 1 and 2, up off of turn 2, down the front stretch. Aviator +1, move him to P3. TomTom with a huge run, though, down into turn 3.
This is going to be the battle for third between the 48 and the 43 right here. Best battle on the track at the moment. And look at TomTom right in the tire tracks of the Aviator, trying to stay with them as they come down the front stretch. Going into turn 3, though, still give it to the Aviator as TomTom dives in behind him.
Yeah, TomTom really diving into turn 1. He's got the 4 of J-Mac really behind him. He had to whoa it up. He's got fresh rubber on that car as they come down the backstretch. The 48 of the Aviator stretching out to about a 2-car length lead down into turn 3.
Yeah, Aviator really now starting to take a walk on the 43 of TomTom. But look at TomTom putting that 43 all the way down to the curbing. Going to try to get that power run that we saw earlier in the race from him, but can't quite close the gap on the 48. But HD, we are now at 49 laps to go here at World Wide Technology Raceway.
Yeah, laps are really winding down. If I'm not mistaken, 49 laps to go. That means there's only about one more pit stop before this thing is all said and done. I don't know exactly how many laps of fuel they're actually getting per run. Do you know?
From what I've seen from a few guys and heard from a few guys in practice, you're looking at anywhere between, 19 to 20. Some guys are stretching to 22. So they may be able to stretch it one more stop. It may be a stop and a half on just for fuel and no tires. We'll have to wait and see as TomTom now gets around the 48. Move the 48 of Aviator back to fourth, and TomTom in the 43 up to third.
Yeah, the 48 Aviator slapped the wall yet again, coming out of the corner as he ties it down into turn 3. The 4 of J-Mac is really not playing too nice, being a lap down, and he's trying to get his laps back as they go side by side off the turn 4 down the front stretch. 48 able to clear him.
This is the old tires versus new tires. J-Mac's got a few lap fresher tires, and we're really starting to see that come into play. Look at J-Mac. Just roll through the middle, right to the bumper of the Aviator. He gets there, but the Aviator just won't let him have the spot back as he now pulls a crossover on the 43 of TomTom as we go into 3.
Yeah, coming out into turn 3. They're going to go side by side. 48 of the Aviator down low. 43 of TomTom up high. TomTom able to hold on to it so far down the front stretch.
If you're J-Mac, how long are you going to be patient for these two guys racing it out? You are a lap down. You are fighting to get your lap back. You know you're faster. And this whole time this battle's going on, that's letting the 17 of Big John sneak up and make it a 3-car race now.
Yeah, the 17 of Big John is all over the bumper for J-Mac. You know he's not going to be waiting around much longer. With J-Mac being a lap down, Big John really wants to get into this battle. He wants that top 3 finish. Now behind Big John's that 38 of Element Zero, who's making his presence known. He's about 10 car lengths back from these guys, battling it out for P3.
And here's the thing, as we talk about J-Mac being a lap down, he's only running in 15th place. So it just shows you how these green flags have shaken up the field. J-Mac's sitting in 15th, but he's a lap down. But he is fast enough to stay with these top 3 drivers.
He's definitely fast enough, and honestly, this might be helping J-Mac out. Maybe he's saving fuel behind these guys. He's just maybe content with riding as he's right behind that 48 of the Aviators. They come up off of turn 4. Now the 17 of Big John is really there. I think the 4 of J-Mac's kind of pulling out. He's down low underneath the 48 coming down into turn 1.
And he's going to clear the 48, but the Aviator is going to give him a shot. That's going to let Big John sneak all the way up to the 48's bumper. Now Big John is racing the 48 for position. J-Mac breathing down the neck of the 43, still trying to fight to get that lap back.
Yeah, J-Mac does have the fresher tires. Aviator diving it down into turn 3 to 17 of Big John with a huge here coming off of turn 4.
Off of turn 4, look at J-Mac all the way up to the bumper of the 43 of Tom Tom, but the 48 not quitting. He's staying in the tire tracks. Now he's going to peek to the outside of the 4 car of J-Mac. That's going to open the door for Big John. Big John can't get the run to stay with them. Now they're starting to spread out 2-3 car lengths between the 43, the 4, the 48, and the 17.
Yeah, a little bit behind the 17 and 38 of Elements, really starting to close these guys in. Aviator within 3 almost got to the back of the car. The 4 car of J-Max all over the bumper of the 43 of Tom Tom as they come down on front stretch.
And into turn 1, still the 43, the 48, the 17. They're racing for position. Here comes Big John now, looking to close that gap on the 48 of Aviator again. Can't quite get there. But that 4 car, you see, he's a lap down, running back in 15th. But he is strong enough and fast enough to stay with these 3 who are racing for a top 3 position right now. Aviator now sneaks back up to the bumper of the 4, giving him almost a little shot, gives him the room. But man, you got to wonder, and there goes J-Mac to the inside. He's going to open the door for the 48.
I think J-Mac is really letting out of the gas now. He just let the 48 and the 17 of Big John go by. I think he's starting to save the fuel yet again. I think he's going to ride behind the 17 of Big John, hit that clutch pedal down the backstretch through the turns 3 and 4. Let these 3 battle it out.
41 laps remain in this race. We're starting to close this storybook ending quick. The Bolt, you want to know where he's at? He's going into about off of turn 2 down the backstretch at this moment, while these guys here racing for 3rd are just going into turn 1.
Yeah, that's just a pure speed from the Bolt, aka Lucky Dog, in that 13 car. Now in front of these guys running in P2 is a 52 of in-car racing as the 3 gets wicked loose out of turn 2 in front of these guys.
Yeah, Diamond at 20X, he had to get off the wheels and the gas real quick to get out of their way. Almost caused a calamity, something we saw earlier with Tom Tom back there on the backstretch with the 38 of Element with them. But now, Tom Tom trying to hold off the 48 of Aviator, trying to hold off the 17 of Big John. Big John looks to the inside. Will he be able to clear him this time?
Yeah, Big John drove it down into turns 1 and 2. Warsed up out of the track into turn 2. That's going to allow the 48 of the Aviator to get a huge on his bumper down the backstretch. He's not going to make a move this time by, which is a little interesting. If I was a driver, I'd have dove that thing down in there. I think he's going to check up turns 3 and 4 and try and build a run into 1.
We'll see. Right now we're on board with the 48. Big John moving to the middle groove. Aviator still staying to the high groove. Using that draft to pull him in. Throws it into 1. About a car length. 2 car lengths. Can't quite get the roll off the corner, but off the exit. Will he use that momentum? Nope, can't quite close the gap as Big John starts to step away from the 48 of the Aviator.
Yeah, but these guys battling for 4th and 5th place. The 43 of Tom Tom able to drive away. He's 5 car length lead, running in P3.
There we are. Now we're on board with the 17 of Big John. Switched the cameras around from the 48, went to the 17. Looking back off the 17, there's that ally machine of Aviator trying to run down this Ford Mustang. And Aviator just can't get the car to roll as well as the 17 of Big John can.
Yeah, I think he's really drove the right front up off of that 48 car when he was trying to battle that 4 car of J-Mac, the 43 of Tom Tom. I think the 48 Aviator's kind of got to save now a little bit, save what he can to be able to stretch this maybe about a lap earlier, or maybe Zane. What do you think? Maybe you pit a lap earlier than these guys. Maybe you come down 1 lap earlier than what you think they're going to pit, get those fresher tires, and you will leapfrog them that way.
Well, right now, Big John's got a battle around the 00 of Freddie, who is a lap down, a couple laps down actually right now. and that caused Big John's momentum to go way up. That's going to let the 48 of Aviator sneak right up to his bumper. But HD, I don't know. The tire wear right now, from what I'm seeing on some of these guys, is pretty drastic of how much they're pushing these cars. I don't know if I want to take the chance of short pitting it that early, knowing I'm going to have to go that much longer on these tires to make it to the end.
You gotta risk it for the biscuit, baby.
Yeah, little biscuits in the house. Sorry.
Nah, man, you're good. But yeah, you know, the 17 of Big John really stretching his lead. He's got about a 3-car lead now on that 48. The Aviator coming up off of turn 2, and actually looks like they're coming down pit road as we speak.
No, oh yes, here it's a race down pit road. Big John opened up his own lawn care service on the intro to pit road.
Someone's gonna be angry because there's a lot of tire marks in this grass as they come down pit road. Everybody makes it nice and safe. I think the 13 Lucky Dog, your current race leader, by a mile and a half. He might be in the next state over, getting ready for Chicagoland. He's pretty much got this thing wrapped up, barring any fuel strategy from Dohar.
Yeah, and that's 17, the 48, the 38 all came down pit road together, trying to find our race leader Lucky Dog right now. Where is he at? He's actually in his pit stall right now, getting 4 tires and fuel. So that means we're going to have to wait. More dogs coming down pit road right now. Lucky Dog finally coming off of pit road. But does that mean the race lead is now going to go into Dohar's hands? TomTom's still out on the track. We're waiting to see our in-race camera, who gives us the updates of the leader during these green flag stops, where they're at. But right now, if I had to put my money, I'm going to say it's got to be Dohar.
Dohar actually just going by the 13 of Lucky Dogs. They come down into turns 3 and 4. Lucky Dog up underneath that 8-8 of Dohar. Dog getting his lap back, I do believe. Once this thing cycles through, Zane, I think Dohar will be your race leader. The question is, we're just under 40 laps to go. Can he cut out a full pit stop?
And no, he's not the race leader. He was able just to get the lap back. The 13 is going to be your race leader under that green flag stop. The 19 of Word Burton was your race leader during that time. So I wonder if Dohar did a little bit of strategy himself, pitted a little earlier than these guys as we were watching that battle for third. Because the 13 of Lucky Dog is going to still be the leader, and everyone else is going to try to run down that Geico machine. It's interesting. The man's doing everything right.
It's either Dohar pulled a different strategy or Dohar lost that much time running that much slower. And again, that's not in a bad way, just a fuel-saving way to that 13 of Lucky Dog, who's been running pedal to the metal as Dohar puts the 24 into the wall at a turn 2.
Oh, Dohar's going to get an angry email from somebody after this race. You know it. The 22 might not... Tedeschi might not like that. You may hear it in an Xbox party later. Why'd you do that? What was wrong with you, Dohar? What were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, that's just... Dohar's just playing the fuel strategy game, man. He thought the 20... Excuse me, it's actually the 24. That's my fault. The 24 of Smitty, if I'm not mistaken, in that car. I think Dohar was like, buddy, I'm trying to win a race here. Get out of my way, bud. As he come out of turn 2 and just touched the door just a bit. Dohar coming out of backstretch, not looking to pit this time by.
Yeah, and that was in our Smitty in that 24. So it was an incident between the 88 and the 24 there. You hate to see it, but at least they kept going straight. There's no big incident on the track. But right now, still all eyes on that 13 of Lucky Dog as he's leading this race still. Trying to get an update on our top 3 right now. J-Mac is sitting in 4th. In-car racing is 5th, Big John 6th, the Aviator 7th, and Element Zero's 8th, but I just don't have any updates on who is running 2nd and 3rd at this moment, as we have 30 laps to go here.
I'm going to say 2nd's definitely the 88 of Dohar. 3rd is my guess, another guy who's playing a fuel strategy game. You know J-Mac's playing that fuel strategy game. He's running in P4. So 3rd is more than likely a fuel strategy. But look at this, Big John, 48, and the 38 of Element, they are all in the same area. I think this, once this cycles through, is going to be a battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Yes, and we want to thank you once again for joining us here at the World Wide Technologies Raceway for the FilterTime eSpark Series. Your host, Zane the Bearded One, in the booth, joined by my compadre of Lightspeed, Mr. HD Motorsports. We're calling some great racing here. 200 laps are almost in the books, about 28 laps left to go. And right now, everyone is still trying to run down the 13 of Lucky Dog. And it's been a hell of a race tonight. I will say that strategy is played out. We saw some of the front runners have a few incidents on pit road. Track bar smacking the inside retaining wall, blowing his engine. Rose leading the race in the 1 car. had a pedals and steering wheel go out, lost the lead, just rolled down the front stretch. Everyone dodged him, but right now, the cream of the crop, as Macho Man Randy Savage says, rises to the top. And that's been Lucky Dog picking up where he left off last season as the inaugural FilterTime eSpark Series champion. He's led almost every lap here tonight and still doing it with class and composure with no one else around him.
Yeah, no one's catching Lucky Dog again, barring any fuel strategy, which I think that's not the window, considering Lucky Dog was the race leader by the time Dohar came up off of pit road. So I think Lucky Dog has pretty much solidified his race win, barring any cautions now. One thing he doesn't want to see is a caution. I think the battle, like you said, Zane, is going to be for second to about 6th place. Keep the eyes on those guys. I think we can see some fireworks as Element Zero in the 38 was able to get by the 48 of the Aviator, coming out of turn 4 down the front stretch. 38's got the 17 of Big John in his sights.
Yeah, 38 of Element Zero. He was up front for a little while in this race. He's working on the bumper of the 17 as we watch this battle happen between Big John and that 17 Ford Mustang, and then Element Zero and that 38 Ford Mustang. Both of those guys battling for a position here in the top 5.
Yeah, you know, talking about Big John from last year, he was kind of really unknown, especially to me, to say nonetheless. He came out of nowhere, winning a couple of races in the first season of the FilterTime eSpark Series. He's getting passed right now, though, by the 38 of Element, so +1 for Element.
Wow, Element really cutting the nose off of Big John there, making it close. But I'm also taking a look. NASCAR, or NCAR, however we want to pronounce his name, is actually running second. So he's the second place car right now. So these 3 guys, Element, Big John, and then Aviator, and Dohar, I'm going to say here. No, Dohar's actually a lap down.
I think it's the 43. I think 13 of Lucky, the 52 of NCAR Racing 64, 43 Tom,
Yep.
and the 38 of Element, and then the 17 and 48. That's going to round out your top 6 in that order.
Yeah, and then Asylum sitting back there in 7th. But this battle here for about, I want to say 4th place is probably the closest battle on track right now.
Yeah, as we got the 7, yep, that's going to be the 38 of Element Zero, 17 of Big John right behind him, and the 48 of the Aviator now closing the gap just a bit to that 17 of Big John. Aviator looking to get a good run up off of turn 4, down the front stretch into turn 1.
Yeah, right now we're on board with the 48, watching these two battle. The 17 of Big John, the 38 of Element Zero. Slow car off of turn 2. He's going to move up and out of the way. That's going to be the 8 of Rangers. No, sorry, not Rangers, but of Cosmic Storm, replacing Jacob Kerr tonight, because since Kerr had a family thing he had to take care of. But good driving on everyone's part to get up and out of the way as these 3, 38, 17, and the 48, now looks like they're working up onto, it looks like, I can't tell if that's the 4 or the 14 from this angle.
I think that's the 14, actually. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a lap down, but he's going to get involved in this action that's about to happen, because you could throw a blanket almost over this 3rd, 4th, and 5th place battle.
Yeah, these guys are riding nose to tail. They're racing like it's the last lap, and they're pretty darn close to it. About 20-something laps left in this race. We'll try to get you an update as the laps start to wind down here.
Yeah, laps winding down. Got to be, what, about 32, maybe 29-ish laps to go. That's going to leave at least one more green flag pit stop before this thing is all said, done, and over with.
21 HD, you're getting off on your game a little rusty. It's been a while for eSpark, hasn't it?
That's the first race back, man. 21, Zane! Almost 20 to go.
Oh, man, we're wrapping them down. 21 laps remaining. Coming to lap 20 to go. Because right now, the Bolt has already hit the line, and he's probably coming off of turn 2 at this point, as these guys are now just coming off of turn 4 down the back stretch, or front stretch.
Yeah, these guys are coming down the front stretch still. The 48 of the Aviator all over the bumper of Big John as they come down into turn 1. Only about a car length separating them two. Aviator really drives that thing down into the corner. I think that's really eating his right front up, but he gets a good run up off of turn 2, looking low into 3.
And here's something interesting that you guys won't know. I got to talk to a Big John's crew chief a little bit there after that last caution. They said under that last green flag run that Big John had worked 3 of his tires to the bare minimum, under 15% left on that left front, the front left, the front right, and the right rear. The left rear was fine, but those front 2 tires were burnt up. That right rear was smoking. So Big John really pushing it, this 17 car, as hard as he can to stay in this top 5. But the balance seems way off than what you would normally see from some of these guys with the tire wear.
I think that's just the track that has to offer. You know, I think 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 being so different, it just eats away at the tires. You know, 1 and 2, it's got that banking. It might eat it up a little bit more. A lot of people back up turn 3 to get the run off of floor. So I think that's really where you're saving the tire. I think turns 1 and 2 is just eating it.
Yeah, 1 and 2 with an 11 degrees of banking. Oh! Aviator to the outside wall. Looks like he got a shot or a little bit of lag from the 88 of Dohar. That's going to slow him down.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened there. So Aviator's going to fall back about 10 car lengths to the 17 of Big John. So I think he's kind of out of the equation for a battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. He drops back to 5th, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to allow the 17 of Big John to be on an island by himself because there's about a 7 car length distance between him and the 38 of Element.
Yeah, Element trying to run down in-car racing all by himself, no help. And what we're going to try to do is see if we can't find in-car in this race right now, running 2nd.
Actually, I think the 43 of Tom, who was running P3, came down pit road for his last green flag pit stop. He's looking to get those 4 fresh Goodyear tires on earlier than everybody else. Here he comes out of his pit stall to stretch it to the end.
Yeah, and right now I'm actually watching the 13. I'm sorry, we're going to go to Lucky Dog, our race leader. See when he finally decides to pull this Geico machine off the track and down pit road.
Yeah, he's coming down a front stretch across the start-finish line that time by coming down into turns 1 and 2. Again, he's got this race lead by a mile and a half. He's next staying over. He's just in cruise control, baby, like he's your grandma on a Sunday drive as he's going by the 14 up on the outside down into turn 3.
Element's on pit road. The 17 of Big John's on pit road. Dohar still out there, and now he's going to try to run down the 13 of Lucky Dog.
I don't think anybody's running the 13 of Lucky down.
Hey, just try to get the deltas, man. You got to get the deltas at this point.
I think it's this running down the 52 of In-Car Racing 64 for that 2nd spot, which I think he's probably got that thing all set and wrapped up and done, put a bow tie on him for that. So I think the real battle is going to be for P3.
No, I think Dohar's actually in 2nd right now. He may be in 2nd. I think 52 has already gone down pit road, so that's going to move Dohar up to 2nd place if he stays on the track right now.
Yeah, Dohar again playing that fuel strategy game out there. I would kind of like to know where he is. We got to get with the race is all said and done with to see where he finishes, because if he can get like a top 7, top 6 at least out of this fuel strategy game, we'll call it a win for JRM Dohar, because he came into the night knowing that his car wasn't the best. He said he didn't have the best car. He's playing the Dohar strategy, and it always seems to work out for him.
No, but here's the big thing right now, HC. That 13 machine of the Bolt right in front of him is going to be the 38 and the 17 of Big John and Element right in front of him. We have probably 12 laps left to go in this race. The question becomes, can the 13 stretch it? When's he going to pull this machine down? Is he going to take tires and fuel? Is he just going to take fuel and pray no one's going to be able to run him down on his old tires?
Yeah, he's coming down into turns 3 and 4 right now. Either that or we just missed his pit stop completely. One of the two. He's looking pretty fast still, coming up off of turn 4 down the front stretch. He's got the 62 car who was running in a top 5, top 10 all night long as well, right on his bumper.
Yeah, and I'm waiting right now. We're watching this battle. Could be a battle, might not be a battle. It's a little hard to tell where the positions are just because of how the game's developed, but it's still putting on some great racing. There it is, the 13 giving the international sign. I'm coming down pit road. He's going to make that hard left-hand turn onto the entryway. He's got to stay smooth. He's got to stay smart. You said it last season, a focused Lucky Dog is a deadly Lucky Dog. And here he is right now, safe and on pit road. Is he going to take 4 tires, or is he just going to take fuel? As we ride on board now with the 88 of Dohar.
If I'm Lucky Dog and I know I have that enormous, I'm not even chancing anything. I'm taking 4 fresh tires. I'm taking 2 cans of gas, and I'm smooth sailing to this race victory here tonight at World Wide Technology Raceway.
Waiting to see right now as it cycles through. Lucky's still on pit road. Nothing's changed in that leader spot. Who is going to be the new race leader? We'll have to see. As Lucky may have lapped everyone on the field here. We're trying to wait and see how it breaks down.
I almost guarantee he lapped everybody in the whole field without a doubt through this green flag pit stop strategy that is fanning out. I think the 88 of Dohar might be a race leader. 19.
The 19 is currently our race leader right now. Let's see if we can't find him on the track.
Yeah, that's going to be the 19. Trying to get to my new thing. You know,
he's on his way down pit road. That's Word Burton. Word Burton was our race leader. He's on pit road now. And guess what? We are under 10 laps to go. Coming to 8 laps to go, this time at the line. And Lucky's going to take back over.
Yeah, Lucky's got the race lead. He's pretty much got this thing all wrapped up, put a bow tie on it. It's all about fighting this battle for the spots out here. And I think the battle is going to be with the 43 of TomTom and the 52 of In-Car Racing, because they're going to go side by side for a moment, coming through turns 1 and 2. I think that's where the 43 pitted way earlier than everybody else. Moved to 52, I think, back up to P2 once it cycles through.
Right now trying to bounce through here. That's TomTom and the 43, the 52 of In-Car. These guys have been battling it all night long up here in the top 3. Or actually, sorry, TomTom's right outside the top 3, sitting in 4th.
I think Dohar's in P2. He's up there in turns 1 and 2, trying to save all he can. He's coming up off of turn 2. I think in a matter of laps, he's going to be coming down pit road for his last green flag pit stop of the night. Unless he was able to save Zane, it's going to be a close one to call with laps winding down.
Hey, if anyone can save and win it on strategy, it's always been Dohar, the tactician. He did it all season 1 of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. He did it during the eSpark season 1 as well. But right now, I'm saying it, he may not have enough to run down the Bolt, or aka Lucky Dog, Mr. Boutafuco, whatever you want to call him, but he might have enough left in that tank to get him a second place finish here at the start of the season on race 1.
52 of In-Car Racing's really coming right now. He's about 5 car lengths back from the 88 of Dohar as they come down into turn 3 with about, under 5 to go now here tonight.
I would say 7 to go, I think, at this point. We'll take a look once they come across the stretch. Because right now, Lucky Dog is coming out of turn 2 onto the backstretch.
If it's 7 to go, then I think the 52 of In-Car Racing's definitely got the 8 of Dohar. Yeah, 6 to go as they come up off of turn 2. 52 is about a car length now back from the 88 of Dohar as they come down the backstretch into turn 3. He's really stretched it on the 43 of TomTom, who's currently sitting P4.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to find Lucky so we don't miss him at the end here. There's a lot of action all over the track, but because of how the game works, it takes forever to cycle through your drivers. But we don't want to miss the closing action for our race leader, Lucky, in that 13 Geico machine, as he's now coming off a turn, looks like turn 3, turn 4 right now, HD, and heading down the front stretch.
Yeah, he's heading down the front stretch, hitting the line this time by. It should be 5 to go for Lucky Dog as he comes down into turns 1 and 2. He's got this race won. The one thing he does not want to see at the moment is a caution.
And what we've seen historically in the eSpark series, sponsored by FilterTime, is a late race caution within 10 to go. A caution has been known to come out. Right now, these drivers are holding on for everything they have, with about 4 laps remaining. When Lucky hits the line this time, it'll be 3 laps to go here at World Wide Technology Raceway. 3 laps to go this time by, and everyone has no chance of catching the 13 Geico machine of your Season 1 inaugural champion, Lucky Dog. But he just hopes everyone stays clean, stays out of his way, and keeps those cars going straight, because one caution could change the entire outcome of this dominant race he's had.
And he's definitely had a dominant race. Again, you can't help to look back to what happened during the race. I mean, you look at the 37 at Track Bar, who also had a very, very good car, hit the pit road wall, blown engine out for the race. CGMX Rose had battle troubles. He ended up losing the race as well when he was in the league, but it was Lucky Dog who prevailed as he comes out of turn 2. 2 to go, Zane.
Double popsicle sticks in the air, wave towards Lucky Dog when he hit the stripe. Now he's just trying to hold on. Coming through 3 and 4. Through 3, off of 4 right now. Clean air in front of him, clean air behind him. White flag waving in the air this time by, and it's all going to be Lucky Dog. He has to stay smooth for 1.25 miles left in this race. White flag to Lucky. He looks to the inside of turn 1, holds the car straight, little bit of lap traffic in front of him, about 4 car lengths gap, down to the backstretch. He won last season at the championship. He showed that he was a short track king. He took down the man, the myth, the Mr. Track Bar. He's picking up where he left off last season. Through 3, off of 4. No one around him, just lap traffic in front of him. Your inaugural eNASCAR Heat Pro League champion or eSpark champion is going to walk away as the season inaugural winner here for season 2 at World Wide Technology Raceway HD. Lucky put on a clinic tonight.
Yeah, he really put on a great race overall. I think he kind of got lucky in a moment there when the caution came out. He had the race lead at a moment. Something happened to him. He dropped all the way back to about P4, P5. The caution came back out, and he just didn't look back since then. He led every single lap after that. But good piece of driving by Lucky Dog. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, NCAR Racing is going to finish second. Tom Flitty third. Element Zero came home fourth. Dohar with the top 5 finish. And then looks like Big John finished 6th there before everything closed out on me. But a heck of a drive for your eSpark Season 1 inaugural champion, picking up where he left off HD, coming to Gateway, Worldwide Technologies Raceway, and dominating here. Granted, we lost the types of Rose and Mr. Track Bar earlier in that race. It could have been a different ending, but tonight, it's all the Lucky Dog show. He was the man, the myth, the legend to beat. He walked in here with a little bit of swagger, a championship belt on his shoulder, and he showed tonight why he was the champion last season.
Yeah, I mean, and again, great race from Lucky Dog. We got to get the top 3, I do believe, in the booth so we can get a little interview up underway. But yeah, I mean, it just showed why he's one of the best on the Xbox side, one of the best in NASCAR Heat 4 by driving like that. I mean, he won it probably by, about 20 seconds, probably put about over half the field a lap down.
Yeah. Yeah, more than half the field. We're talking like last time we saw a car that was a lap down, it was, I think, J-Mac, who was running back in 15th place. So it put a huge pressure on a lot of those guys who are top 10, top 20 drivers to really pedal those cars as hard as possible to stay on that lead lap because Lucky was driving on rails tonight.
Yeah, Lucky definitely had a good car. And actually, there is a Lucky Dog joining us in the booth right now.
Yeah. And we're with them. The inaugural FilterTime eSpark Series champion picks up where he left off, walks in here with the championship belt, walks out of Worldwide Technology Raceway with the championship with a trophy. Mr. Lucky Dog, should I call you Mr. Germain Racing? What do we call you now since you're the winner here tonight at Worldwide Technology Raceway?
That's awesome. I'm really happy. Sorry, you're a little lagging a little bit on my end. Sorry if my connection's bad, but really happy. It's a great way to start the season here at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. And we did it with the incredible number 13 Geico Chevy Camaro. Really happy that you get to say that. I want to thank everyone from Germain Gaming and Germain Racing for drafting me in Season 2. It's a huge honor. I cannot wait for this upcoming season. And I just want to thank everybody in NASCAR Heat and Motorsport Games for everything for this upcoming NASCAR Heat season, and Fanatec. Guys like Jay Pennell and Ben Rossiter made this deal possible. I raced my new Fanatec today, and it was great. Still trying to get used to it, but I really enjoy it. Performed really well out there tonight. And I also got to say, big thanks to you guys for commentating, HD and Zane Dohar for putting on this league here in the FilterTime eSpark Cup Series, and all my friends on Team Fradog for supporting me, and everyone else who's been supporting me throughout this league, for league racing and through the pro league. Wow, crazy. I made a rookie mistake and hit the backstretch wall there, and I spun out. And then I was trying to save fuel, and that wasn't working too well. And I had 82 aero, and then we had that caution, and we're able to just pull away and use our pace to just try and make it there to the end of the race. So really happy with getting another victory here. Woo.
You did a great job tonight. You picked up where you left off last season. You got a lot of thank yous out there, a lot of new equipment, new season, new number, new team, but the same old Lucky Dog, a deadly Lucky Dog. So congratulations on your win. We'll see you next week at Chicagoland. And I think HD Motorsports is down there with our second place finisher. HD, you got our second place guy?
Yeah, in-car racing, man. How's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Well, I'll tell you what, you put on a whale of a show out there on the track tonight. Coming in tonight, man, you kind of shocked me. I like being shocked by guys. I think of guys like Big John last year who shocked me, kind of showed like, man, this guy's fast. You showed me tonight that you were extremely fast. What was your race like?
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, it was crazy, but it was pretty smooth at the same time, if that makes any sense. It was just trying to manage tires and see who was on what strategy and trying to play the math game. But overall, I mean, it was pretty smooth.
Yeah, and coming there towards the end, I know you and Tom Fleety had an epic battle for second and third place as they were coming out of turn. You're able to get them. Is there any changes at all you think you probably could have got one spot better to get the win?
Yes, there's one change. The 13 would have had to not be in the field. That would have been the only shot. He was too good.
Yeah, he definitely had a great car tonight. Lucky dog. He's one of those guys out there on the track. But hey, man, you had an awesome race yourself. Would you like to throw any shout outs?
Not really. Just shout out to everybody who's trying to make a name for themselves here. And it's tough, but to get in the door is pretty nice.
I'll tell you what, you definitely made a name for yourself tonight because I'll be looking out for In-Car Racing 64 for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And Zane, you down there with Tom?
I'm down here with the 43, new number, new team, same old style, a little bit of charisma and pizzazz. Tom Fleety in the 43. Buddy, you had a chance to win it. You were running up front with Element. That incident happened up front. Talk us through your recovery to come back home with a third place finish tonight.
Yeah, it was tough, man. You've got 30 plus of the best drivers on Xbox all on a short track, tight technical track like this. So you had to make sure to hit your marks every single time. And, I tried my best to do that. And, I'm not sure what happened in front of me coming off of turn 2 that one time. And I saw the car sitting there spinning, and I just went for the option, just drive straight for him, and that did not work out. He just stopped in the track, and we drove straight into him and caused a huge wreck. So that sucked, but Element and we were pretty close. So was N-Car and a couple of other guys. So, there was a lot of people that were right on the same strategy and the same speed as well. So it made for some good, hard racing, and it might not have looked intense from up there, but I'll tell you from my perspective and everybody else in our party, man, it was tough out there. It was intense for sure. So hopefully it was a good show for you guys.
Well, is there anyone you want to thank for this third place finish here at World Wide Technology Raceway?
Definitely got to thank N-Car for the setup help. Without him, I wouldn't even be in the running. I mean, I struggle on short tracks, and like I said, without his help, I would not be up there battling it out for a top 5. So definitely thanks to him, and thanks to you guys and Dohar as well for putting on this great show.
Well, that was your third place finisher. New team, new make. But guess what? Same old Tom coming home with a third place finish tonight, HD. And guess what? Here's something interesting. I'm looking at the little bit of the FilterTime eSpark series statistics and runnings. Did you know that N-Car and TomTom, the 52 and the 43, both run for the same team with Big John as their team owner? So it looks like a little bit of that team strategy and team shared setup really came home to help out those Chevrolets.
No, without a doubt, man, because you can't look at the 17 of Big John, who had a great race tonight himself. I do believe he finished P6. You're talking about 3 of the top 6 is Big John's team. I mean, that's a great team showing.
Yeah, great team showing. A lot of teamwork right there, sharing those workups and those setups, which you sometimes don't see in some of those teams. But this one, you're actually seeing those guys come together and work really well to be, 2 of the top 3 finishers here tonight. But let's go to Dohar, our in-race reporter, the Doharian Snowcat, the tactician. Dohar, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy, HD and Zane.
So take us through your race, man. You had a really good fuel mileage strategy going on there. It just seemed like the tire drop-off and the deltas just wasn't falling into your hand late in that race.
Yeah, The amount of laps that were left when we went green there, I think it was 106. I knew it was going to be tight on the window to make that work against everything else because I was stretching it really hard to go 26 laps, and on a couple of those runs, I'd need to go 27 to make the math work and just back the pace off. And I knew when we unloaded off the trailer, we didn't have the pace to compete with any of the top guys. If we wanted to get a top 10, heck, even try and squeak out top 5, it was going to have to be on strategy. Just with the way everything's been in the world, unfortunately, a lot of guys are at home safe. Some of us are still working. That's just kind of the position we're in. We don't get anywhere near the amount of test and tune time that a lot of these guys have. So we just kind of come out here usually a little bit fresh and raw off the trailer. But just overall had a fun race, racing like hell with J-Mac there. I was telling him, good racing with you, half throttle pace. We both had the same strategy in mind. I was able to squeak it out there at the end. But it was a fun race. I mean, it's super clean. You got to give credit to the guys, all the new people we brought over to kind of just in about 2 practice sessions. These guys really got it together and put everything together excellently. And to put 30-plus cars at WWT for the first race of the season and have only one yellow, I'd say that's a mega success. Nick Jobs, you can take it where the sun don't shine, baby.
I don't know who Nick Jobs is. I know who Nicky Jobs is, our Vegas odds man. And yeah, he might actually have to eat some crow after this race because one caution, 30-plus drivers, new drivers as well, HD. I got to say, it's a hell of a race, a heck of a race. But before we close it out here, let's take one more look at our FilterTime eSpark Series big board for the schedule for the next 3 weeks coming up here on my Twitch channel, hashtag Zane the Bearded One. You'll also see the replays and the highlights up on YouTube. We'll have those links for you tomorrow morning where you can sit down, sip, watch some eSpark races during your morning coffee. But a week from today, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the boys of the FilterTime eSpark Series Cup Series will be heading to Chicagoland Speedway. That's April 19th. And then 2 weeks from today, April 26th, the big daddy of speed, not Talladega, but the World Wide Center of Speed, the Daytona International Speedway, where we'll see a little bit of restrictor plate, or should I say spacer racing. There's no more restrictor plates in these Cup cars. Some restrictor plates racing, bumpers, 2 wide, 3 wide, going from a short track to an intermediate track to a restrictor plate track is going to be very interesting, and that's 2 weeks from today. And then finally, HD stands for hot dogs, and we know he loves this place. Going to Martinsville Speedway on May 3rd, 3 weeks from today. The boys are going to go from the fastest racing to the slowest and shortest track, the paperclip of Martinsville Speedway, in 3 weeks. And it's a really interesting mix of tracks these guys have going on.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week at Chicagoland. I mentioned in the race that this kind of going to be a similar race. We're going to see guys back the corners up to get the runs off the corner because Chicagoland is another low-line dominant track. There's going to be a lot of action out there.
Yeah, and Chicagoland is going to be really interesting. We'll probably see a lot of bottom feeding, but I'm hoping that we're going to see some guys open it up, try to get that high line working. But for Zane, I'm Zane actually, but for HD Motorsports, Doha in-race reporter, all the drivers in the eSpark series, for the fans that are watching at home, thank you for being patient during the technical issues. Until next time, we'll see you in 1 week at Chicagoland Speedway.